All right. Welcome back to the unofficial BR6 casts here on my channel. So, before I get too far into this, just a heads up, the Twitch has been a bit finicky. I hope it seems to have settled down now, but if it doesn't, I might end up swapping streams to YouTube or something partway through the cast. I hope I don't have to, but I want to put that disclaimer out there, I suppose, before, you know, we get too far in. Now, as far as the match that we have today, today's matches or match singular is between Guidance Gaming and Pain Gaming, with the Series A spot on the line. Pain Gaming, as we saw in the previous couple games I've casted, fell from to the bottom of the relegations. They lost every single one of their relegation matches against the other lower seeded teams in BR6. That's Immortals and INTZ, although they technically only lost to Immortals. Immortals lost to INTZ. It was a reverse King of the Hill style format. And that means that Pain Gaming has to fight for their spot in Series A. Their challenger is going to be Guidance Gaming, who has fought their way up from third seed finish in Series B. They defeated the fourth seed team and then defeated the second seed team of Vivo Keed. And I was going to get more into it, but it looks like we're just getting straight into the match now. So it's going to be Pain Gaming versus Guidance Gaming, starting with Bank. I believe the series was supposed to be a best of five, but it looks like there's been some conflicting information at some point because on Twitter it was also saying best of three, and the current overlays were best of three. So it might just be a best of three. But if it's a best of five, well, the overlay just hasn't been adapted. Either way, first map is going to be Bank. I do not know whose map pick it is because unfortunately I don't speak Portuguese. So we're going to see Guidance Gaming starting off with banning Maverick, and Pain Gaming is actually going to ban Nomad. Both of these are kind of unique bans here on Bank. The Mav ban in particular is a bit interesting, as most teams will rather ban something like the Hibana and force the Mav play, as he is a bit slower. And even if he can't ignore Kaed, who just got banned. So the Kaed ban makes a lot of sense to me from Pain Gaming's perspective because of the Mav ban, as that seems to scream that Guidance Gaming wants to do something with hatches and just don't want the Mav to be able to ignore it. But at the same time, I'm sure Guidance Gaming was expecting that. Nomad ban is just designed to allow Pain Gaming a bit more freedom on their defensive set, which, while I like the theory of in concept, my big difficulty with that ban for Pain Gaming is we've seen how sluggish and slow their own attacks have been because it feels like they're afraid to push in and take map control. So the fact that they're going to ban an operator that would really help them get that confidence to push in game map control leaves me a little worried if I'm Pain Gaming right now, as I don't want to see the same sort of sluggish attacks I've seen before from them. Especially because we're talking about a map like Bank, which we've seen their sluggish approaches on maps like Border. Bank can typically require a lot of roam clear depending on how the defense wants to set it up. Quick note is that we do still, I believe, have a sub in place for Guidance Gaming, as one of their players, Highs, is not playing once again. So they're gonna have that sub in play once more. They had a sub in play the previous time they played, so nothing too surprising there. They are going to be running the Ella, which is designed for playing on the blue stairs, where you see Alpha currently set up. It's likely that the Ella is going to come join the Jaeger once he finishes setting up his utility, and then the Jaeger might leave, might play server, or they might 2-stack onto the blue stairs hold. It's really been up to discretion for a lot of teams how they want to put emphasis on the server stairs, and it's something we see from region to region. There's not really any region that doesn't like holding server stairs. It seems to be much more team focused as opposed to an overall sort of decision. I'm going to actually lower the quality a bit because it is skipping a lot more than I'd like. So hopefully that won't affect your guys' viewing experience too much. I do not know why Twitch is giving me so much trouble right now, and I might honestly swap to YouTube because this is getting a bit much. But We'll see. If it sticks like this throughout this round, then I am gonna just swap it to YouTube. We won't have to deal with it then. Regardless, we have FK1 already taking control of electrical, and it looks like that wants to be their ingress for opening up server stairs. Now, Pain Gaming does have the lineup to deal with opening server stairs, where you have the Ella position. They've got the Capitao Flame Bolts if they have to use them, although they'd likely rather use those on the red hallway. They've got the Zofia to concuss and burn out ADSs, and of course, they got the frag grenades here on Revolts. Although it looks like Revolts is actually going to be setting up a drone for entering through the sewers. And you see Bursa here on the pulse, playing a bit aggressively to try and get an early intel on who tries to push Dirt Tunnel and when. But he's going to probably fall out of that position shortly after getting that intel, not wanting to give himself away as an early pick. Speaking of early, half the round has gone. And yeah, I'm swapping it to YouTube. I do not know why it's so sluggish today. And yeah, I do wish it was better, but hopefully this is all we need to do to fix it. It's not on YouTube. All right, so we're gonna have to deal with this, unfortunately. I don't know why it's so hiccupy. After this round, I'll restart the stream, and hopefully that'll fix these problems. Regardless, we're down to a minute, and Pain Gaming, they finally cleared out server, but they haven't gotten any picks in the process, and we're seeing that server will get opened up now. It's not the worst time management. That's about the last second you can kind of open that to start to play the utility game of now bait out the smokes, bait out the nitro cell, which thankfully for Pain Gaming, there's only one in the hands of the Pulse on guidance. And they do have the Capitao, so they can kind of try and deny the play in red. And that's probably where we're going to see that first Capitao bolt go. It's actually... Okay, there it goes. He did shoot into red. It looks like he may have missed one earlier on. However, they've got 24 seconds now to ingress, but RDZ and BMH will each get a kill. FK1 will respond with one onto RDZ, so it's still going to say as a 3v4 as the next plant attempt is coming down. Revolts is going to have to play the hatch, and the Zofia is going to have to cover for Norden. Revolts is going to get one, but BMH is going to get Norden. The plant in the meantime, Miracle's going to get the refrag onto Revolts. It's all up to FK1. He may get one, but he won't have enough time for another. And I'm going to refresh the stream now as I do not know what is up right now with Twitch, and I wish it worked better, and I wish the YouTube stream was up, but it is not, and hopefully refreshing it is all we need to do to get things working a bit smoother. Yeah, I apologize for how much this is hiccuping. I really don't know what's up with that. But regardless, hopefully it will calm down. Now, Guidance Gaming will take the first defensive round, and that's going to mean they go up to the top floor now. One thing I didn't get to note about, and while he will be sixth picked off of, Echo and Meister are both available to the defense currently because of that Kaed ban. And if you're paying Gaming, the whole reason you banned that Kaed was to make those basement attacks easier, especially because the Mav had been taken out of play, so you can just ignore an Electroclaw flat out. And basement attack still wasn't that much easier, or at least didn't look like it for Pain Gaming, as they were pretty handedly dismantled by Guidance Gaming's defense. They pulled off of their roam at just the right time, didn't lose a single pick during that, and then were able to stall at the final minute pretty effectively just by playing the utility game. So if you're Pain Gaming and your goal with that Kaed ban was to make the basement attack easier, well, you're going to have to reevaluate it when you attack it the next time around and hope that you are still confident in being able to attack the rest of the sites where you're going to have some really potent operators available to Guidance Gaming. I really don't know what's up with this stream, and I do apologize for that. I'll look at what's... because my internet is still running fine. There's nothing in the background that should be causing problems, so... I wish I could tell you what was doing all this, but I actually don't have any clue. FK1 is going to get an early fight going here with a player playing at the top of the red lobby stairs, but so far they both just kind of dance around each other, neither one doing any damage to the other, although it does look like RDZ has taken a little bit of damage, but it's unlikely that was from FK1's bullets, as those would have done significantly more, and now the stream has just conked out on me, so it might actually be on their end and not on mine. We'll find out when we see the chat. Okay, so there are Fs in chats. So, okay, so it looks like The constant hiccuping, thankfully, was not on my end, but rather on the stream side of things. So, yeah, so we don't have the stream right now. Round still being played out we as Stay Puffed has noted in chat. And there's not a whole lot I can say about how the round was looking to play out because we lost it in the first like 20 seconds or so. But okay, the stream's back up. No, not for me yet, unfortunately. Okay. So right now I'm seeing the same stuff from Pain Gaming that we've seen be their bane for the past, man, last time they really won something was December. They had I think a win of a map in March in BR6 and maybe won one flat out in March, but either way you split it, it's been a long time since Pain Gaming has gotten anything. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. And a large part of that has been, as we've seen in their attacks before, they've been very, very hesitant, very sluggish, and it's been costing them, it's been hurting them. Now, what I'm worried about is that we're going to see the same stuff right now from them against Guidance Gaming. That first round, it was very messy as far as we were able to see because the stream kept counting out, but from what we could tell, it looked like the same problem. They got into server at a decent time, all things considered. But a lot of that felt more like Guidance Gaming giving up the space than them fighting them for it. And that's why there was no, I don't even think there's any bullets exchanged in their take. It was just a call from Guidance Gaming that, okay, we've wasted enough time, let's pull off and play our numbers. Pain Gaming didn't really do much, it looked like anyway, to force Guidance Gaming out of their positions. And then, as a result, that same sort of sluggish, slow take came where it just seems like right now, and this has been the problem plaguing Pain Gaming for a while, it almost feels like they're just afraid to have someone enter and try and make some moves and try and make some plays. I'm at a point where watching Pain Gaming where I'd almost rather see them 9 times out of 10 lose an opening duel in the first minute of a round, first 40 seconds of a round, than the current Pain Gaming where they just don't even take an opening duel. Because I do think that they need to start taking some of those fights and pushing in, getting themselves map control and playing off of that map control if they want to win anything. Because you can't just wait out the defense. It works the other way around entirely. I'm gonna refresh this again. Hope the stream's back live. No, it's not. Meanwhile, from Guidance Gaming, it just looks like we're seeing the same sort of coordination and comfortability that we've seen from them all season so far. At least the matches I've watched, to where they seem to be playing really well on their fundamentals. I mean, getting the call and pulling off based on the clock is something that you do when you have your fundamentals down. It means their coordination is intact, and they definitely seem to be playing well. Again, it's hard for me to analyze a lot for this particular match because of the fact that we don't have a stream and how slow it's gone. I see something in the chat saying live. Nope. I wish I spoke Portuguese and make knowing when to refresh a little bit easier. But yeah. So I apologize to you tuning in, the fact that we don't have a stream right now. I'm doing my best, but I have no control, unfortunately, over when this stream might be available again and we can enjoy it. So until then, I'll just be refreshing at periodic moments, really. But yeah. Okay, so it's currently 2-0 in Guidance Gaming's favor. So I'm not too surprised by that. And oh, here we go. We have the round. It's actually 1-1. So okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, we're finally back. We finally had the round. I'm gonna actually try and up the quality again now that I hope that was just all on the stream's end and not on my end, which would mean that upping the quality, we have it all working again. And Guidance Gaming, they're going to be reattempting this top floor hold now, and the Echo is going to get an early pick onto Norden. And Echo is so powerful right now because of the fact that his yokais are even more invisible than they used to be. Diego, though, will get the refrag onto the Echo, so that's your Thatcher gone for an Echo. Depending on how many of the EMPs were used and how they were used, that could be a pretty fair trade if BMH, if Norden hadn't had a chance to use many of his EMPs, unfortunately, we can't really tell as we got into this round at the halfway point. But if those muted walls are managing to stay in play, or even just general mute jammers designed to slow down the attacker's dronings, that could be a very worthwhile trade. And they are running low on time if you're paying gaming, so Diego's going to have to start making some moves. So he's going to flame off the one spot where Red Stairs could have been easily peeked from and allow his team to just push up and get some more control from the lobby side, as it's going to be entirely a Western take. But these castle barricades and barricades in general are going to continuously slow things down. FK1's going to remove the castle barricade, and that's going to prompt the player behind it on Guidance Gaming to fall back. I believe that was Miracle on the mute. Nitrocell is going to detonate errantly, and Alpha is just going to have to try and fire up some shots. He will take one bullet in return, but he will fire one back to FK1, who will get downed as he has to worry about two different angles and finished off by Bursa. He's going to throw out an impact grenade, doing some more damage. RDZ is going to finish off Revolts. Bursa is going to confirm his kill onto Diego, and it's all up to Ghost with 2 seconds left, and he's still outside the building. That's going to be another round going the way of Guidance Gaming. Now, we missed the early part of that, and the early part of that is where Pain Gaming traditionally struggles, but my read from that, considering it was a 5v5 at the halfway mark, and all the attackers really had was lobby control, not even lobby stairs control, just they were in lobby. I want to say Pain Gaming struggled the same way on their clears and takes and just didn't ingress in. We also saw the Valkyrie of Alpha playing around down below, uncontested, really. I mean, she took one bullet's worth of damage at one point, and it looked like Revolts tried to go in to clear her and then backed off. And we saw how that worked out for his team later because he didn't pinch in and kill the Valk, or at least get her out of that position. Well, FK wanted to deal with two different angles. And ultimately, he can't even get one kill in that situation, and Guidance Gaming will now get to go back down to the basement. So I really want to see Pain Gaming just start taking some gunfights. It's odd to say, as a lot of teams seem to struggle because they get too aggressive, they get too reckless, they take too many gunfights, but Siege at the end of the day is still an FPS. And if you're looking as hesitant a team as Pain Gaming is looking right now, where your entries won't enter the building at all, that to me is just an awful sign as a team. And it means the confidence and the comms seem to just be shot, as you should at least be comfortable entering in and taking some gunfights. I mean, you can see Guidance Gaming right now, Bursa and Alpha, they're just confident of entering into the attacker's zone. All the confidence seems to be with Guidance Gaming right now, and I wouldn't blame them right now. Pain Gaming has not been playing well for a long time, whereas Guidance Gaming has seemed to have been on quite an upswing. They seem to be improving match by match. While they haven't quite broken into the big league, so to speak, for their region just yet, this is their opportunity, and this is the best one they're going to get for really 6 months. When then they, well, 3 months now, because we are halfway through the Pro League season, when they'll have a shot at requalifying there, assuming they get to the top of Challenger League. Either way, finding a team like Pain Gaming's right now for your shot at getting in, that's as good as it really gets, as you don't know, even at the end of another 3 months, if you're going to be on par with whoever's going to be in the relegation zones from the Latin American Pro League. And besides, that still won't mean that you get into BR6 for the next season. This is our only shot to get there. And this is a year-long season. And just like that, Alpha will get his shot onto the Sophia of FK1. And once again, the entries from Pain Gaming just struggling to get any sort of valuable map control. Alpha will be taken down to about a half health to that engagement, and we can see Miracle is extremely low himself. But ultimately, this entire round is still in Guidance Gaming's control, as Alpha hasn't even been pushed out of the server position. Last time, Pain Gaming was getting in here around this time, and we saw how little that worked out. They will down the Jaeger, though, and that's going to be a kill for Norden once he realizes that the nade was successful, but it looks like he's still wary. There are no points, so players in BR6 and Pro League in general do not know that they've downed someone. And that's why they're going to hesitate a bit, just to make sure that the Jaeger was actually finished off, and Revolt's going to confirm the kill, but he will take a lot of damage in the process, so health advantage still on Guidance Gaming's side, and this time the wall gets opened up far later. They do have the advantage of they don't have to waste or they don't have as many players to deal with when they're ingressing onto the site, but they're also a man short themselves, and there's a lot more denial for Guidance Gaming as they have brought the Echo. In just a few seconds, the Echo can win the round all by himself just by having a yokai in position. Norden's not going to do the default plant, but the Echo drone will spot him out and give the call for the Nitro Cell to come out. Ghost will get a refrag onto Miracle, but RDZ will refrag him, leaving it all up to Diego and Revolts with 6 seconds left. The Capita's going to have to start making some moves, especially as his teammate gets gunned behind him. You'll find one, but RDC is there to shut him down. And that's going to be Guidance Gaming winning another defense of the basement. That's the 2 defenses of the basement they can get in the first area in their defensive half, and ultimately rendering Pain Gaming's ban of the Kaid useless, as the Kaid ban was likely designed entirely to deal with a basement defense. You just don't want to have to. I think the big thing for Pain Gaming is that they're not running a Thatcher frequently, and I think that's the reason why, is they banned the Kayed, so they figured, well, we don't need the Thatcher as much. We saw them run them on a couple of their top floor attacks, but that's been about it, and they're not even running them this time. And at a certain point, if your goal was to make your basement attacks a little bit easier, which is why you banned the Kayed, well, you do need to win them when you're doing that. You don't have to win every single one. You can let Guidance Gaming win basement, but they shouldn't win it on their first try. And I feel a lot of that, again, it has to do with how sluggish Pain Gaming is being. We saw them get their server control this time at 38 seconds. That's way too late. I know there was a player from Guidance Gaming that was contesting it a lot harder this time around compared to before, but you have a Sophia, you have a Capital, and you have frag grenades. The Jaeger should not be allowed to play behind the server racks for that long and do that much damage. He got the pick on the Zofia as well. It didn't even look like he had a player heavily supporting him from the server stairs. I believe Miracle might have been there earlier, but he had fallen off a while ago once his health had been taken down, as the smoke knew he needed to be in position to play the site and deny the plant. A decent read from Norden to get his character and the plant with the thermite down, not in default, so that the smokes would hopefully get wasted, and then he wanted to also waste a nitro cell. I guess there was no Meister cams also in position, so he wasn't afraid of being pinged there, but you know the Echo's still on the board, and you don't have a Thatcher or an IQ or anything to spot that out. So even if the smokes had whiffed, even if that C4 had whiffed, it's likely the Echo just denying the plant there would have bought his team just enough time to close things out pretty handedly, because he also pulled the thermite off of the plant at about 15 seconds. Depending on how many blasts he has and how the Echo times it, that can make it impossible for Norden to get that plant down, especially if the second yokai can be rotated into the site. So hopefully Pain Gaming, now that they're going to be attacking the tertiary site of Guidance Gaming, will have a bit more confidence in being able to take one more of their attacks and push in with some haste. And we are seeing that, where the first minute of the round is gone, but they're going to start clearing out these roamers up top. So the time management isn't the worst right now from Pain Gaming. They're doing a pretty good pinch here on the castle of Bursa, who's likely going to fall back at this position, or he's going to be stuck here fighting for his life, and fighting for his life indeed, as FK1 will take him down. RDZ, though, is there for the refrag, so good coordination between Guidance Gaming, but RDZ is likely going to get pinched off here shortly afterwards. He will fall back now finally, and top 4 control has been vacated to Pain Gaming. Whether they know it or not is a different question. BMH, though, does know of the position of Norden, and that's your thermite taken out on the top floor clear. Good intel from either the Echo drones or the Valkyrie cameras to get that C4 up, and that's going to prompt Alpha to start retaking the top floor now that they know they've cleared out at least one other member here. He's going to push back into Janitor Closet, and it looks like he has members on both sides of his closet. One should be spotted out by that Echo drone, but it might not be yet. Diego could spell disaster for the Valkyrie if he's not paying attention, but Alpha will catch a Revolts looking away, and he's going to land the second headshot onto Diego, and all of a sudden top floor control completely gone for Pain Gaming. All they have left now is the Hibana, no diffuser in hand. She has to find 4, and she's only got 23 seconds to do so. She will spot out the head of one player, and that's BMH. She'll take him out a little bit more challenging because of the Echo stuns, but ultimately not something that Ghost couldn't handle. But now he's trapped in the elevator and has to deal with three barrels circling onto his position, and RDZ is going to take the first gunfight as the Yokai goes off and win that out pretty handedly. Guidance Gaming getting another defensive round, and that's going to be a clean rotation as they will win three defenses in a row, allowing them to go back to the top floor for their final defense. Or they might throw a curveball and go open area, but no, indeed, it is going to be the top floor defense. A little better play from Pain Gaming, in all honesty, that round, while it didn't work out at the end. I do like that ultimately they pushed the top floor and cleared out roamers at a decent pace. They got that early pick under the castle quite effectively. There just wasn't anyone with FK1 to refrag him. Well, there were players with FK1. There wasn't anyone that peaked after FK1 was taken down to try and refrag onto the Jaeger. And ultimately, that meant that top floor control they got on Guidance Game and giving it up, knowing that they could do the retake on top floor. Finally, we're seeing the IQ come out from Diego, but it is at the expense of the Capital. And no more Echo for Guidance Gaming. So that's a tough one right there, as I think the IQ is the right call. The Echo and the Valk have been causing you so much problem right now, so much trouble, that you need to be able to take care of it. And that means you either need an IQ or you need a Thatcher. And with how aggressively the Yokai drone is being played, the IQ is definitely the right call, the right read. Dropping the Capital for that, I find that that's a bit more questionable, but they like to run castles, so I understand the Zofia. The double hard breach I don't think is as necessary when you're attacking the top floor, but there are some long angles that you can only get with Hibana, and you still want to open up square, and Alpha will open up that round with a run out from the garage, I believe, on dock, and that's going to be your thermite down and out. That's a huge pick if your Guidance Gaming is now those square walls. They can still be opened up by the Hibana, but it's going to be a much more funneled entryway, and she can't open up both of them. So a huge pick coming out from Alpha to really set the momentum in his team's favor, or rather keep it in their favor. The clash could also spell a lot of trouble now for Pain Gaming's attack, as they have dropped the Capita. They still have the Zofia and some frag grenades in Revolt's hands that they can use to deal with that clash. But one thing I want to note about the nature of the clash, when you bring a clash, you're always going to be sacrificing one gun on your side, essentially. Yes, the clash can put a shield on their back and have a gun, but ultimately you are giving up a gun for the clash, and the clash can bring a lot of utility, which is why you make that play. Now that Guidance Gaming has a 5v4 advantage, they're going to be equal in gun power and still have the clash. And it looks like FK1's trying to equalize the man count now, and he will get the Jaeger at about the halfway point of the round. And now we see Hibana opening up the hard wall to try and make the Clash's life more difficult on that elevator hallway, which is why you will see the Hibana ran for this top floor attack. So I do understand it from Pain Gaming, but I don't necessarily agree with the dropping of the Capita as much as they do need the IQ. I think either the Buck or the Zofia probably would have been a better play to drop, although both of those operators are very valuable as well. It just shows how much utility there is on the attack side that they have to consider, and it's a really good read from Guidance Gaming, knowing that Pain Gaming was likely to try and make some adaptation, and so you drop the Echo, and you also drop a nade right onto the IQ, so that's going to be Miracle winning out on stopping this lobby side take. Revolts is now going to be tasked next on deck to push in alongside Ghost on the Hibana. But time is ticking down for Pain Gaming, and they've just been bled by Guidance this whole match. Ghost will take down the Clash, so that's going to equalize man count, which is desperately needed now that you're in the final 20 seconds. FK1 will finally join the rest of his team, and it's all going to be a west side push, trying to win out these last few gunfights and just bully their way into the site, and Revolts will do just that onto Alpha, so man count will finally swing the way of Pain Gaming for the first time in this round, but they only have 7 seconds left. Ghost is going to start the plant, and Miracle will be caught looking the other way as Revolts just goes huge. He's going to fight the castle, but the crossfire means that the castle was likely dead either way, but Revolts picking up a 4K, I believe, that round, and really just salvaging it for his team. Excellent play there from the Buck. And Guidance Gaming, while they had an opportunity to really set the half their way at a 5-1 split, will ultimately only walk away to 4-2 as Pain Gaming will now get to defend, which is definitely where you want to be if you are Pain Gaming right now. The bans, they're really just helping out the defense more than anything. Yes, you still have the Hibana and the Thermite, which is going to make basement a lot easier to attack. But ultimately, the defense gets to hold on to the Maestro and the Echo, which is so powerful as operators, especially when ran together. But that's not going to be the case for Pen Gaming right now, as Diego's going to 6-pick to the Echo and off of the Maestro. A lot of intel available to Pain Gaming. But Guidance Gaming, running a lineup that won't necessarily care entirely as much about the amount of intel available to Pain Gaming. That's going to be the Monty, who can push in and take map control quite effectively and efficiently, and be essentially a walking drone for the attack. I'm curious to see how they play this Monty, whether it's just going to be a straight push from the sewers to get server control early on, or whether it's going to be focused on more of some sort of roam clear or pushing in elsewhere on the map. My guess would be it is just straight through the sewer. And the Ying from RDZ is likely designed to just deny any sorts of attempts from Pain Gaming to play the server stairs. Or it can be used in a very similar way as the Capitao is to deny the red hallway play that Pain Gaming will likely employ along using the nitro cells on the Valk and the Mute, as well as the smokes gas canisters, to just play the utility game that you see so prevalent on the bank basement. I would say bank basement, especially after Oregon's removal, is probably the most utility focused site in the game right now, as it entirely rides and dies for both of these teams on how well they can play their utility management. And we can see now the Monty just giving intel on the smoke's position, also trying to bait out and waste those gas canisters so they can't be used later in the round. The Thatcher EMP will also take out all of the protection really for Norden outside of his barbed wire. First gas canister is going to go off, but it's not going to do much damage to the Monty, and wasting a gas canister within the first minute, that's good utility play from Guidance Gaming. You can see RDZ just stacking behind the Monty, waiting for his opportunity to Candela in and take down this smoke, who continues to find himself between a rock and a hard place. He will actually shoot out the first Candela, but he's going to detonate his gas canister just in time, but RDZ won't care. He'll eat a little bit of smoke damage and a little bit more as he walks back into it, not realizing how far it's propagating, but ultimately they've picked off Norden early on. A lot of damage done, though, to the Thatcher and the Ying, and hopefully Pain Gaming can capitalize on it later. Next on deck, though, is the Jaeger playing inside a server, as the Monty's going to work together to clear him out of this position. Yokai Drone, though, is going to cause the Monty to drop his shield, and FK1 will capitalize on that. So good coordination between Pain Gaming, and that's going to level man count, and more importantly, put the health advantage in the side of Pain Gaming. Jaeger is still likely to fall, especially as these Candelas go off, and there's Miracle picking him off from above. They do know that a Yokai drone is inside a server, but they're going to have a bit of difficulty spotting it due to the lack of the IQ. We might see a Thatcher EMP come in just to drop the Yokai drone. And RDZ, you can see him looking for it, but it doesn't seem like he's been successful just yet. The extra invisibility that the Yokais have gotten has definitely made them far more difficult. And Guidance Gaming are actually going to have a slower open of that main wall, as they only have about 40 seconds left as it gets opened. But they don't have to deal with gas canisters. They only have to bait out 2 C4s. Diego is really going to be the decider of this round on that Echo, and Bursa is going to just deny him the ability to do anything. Revolts will get a refrag onto Alpha, but RDZ pushing up onto the Valkyrie to try and to prevent the C4 from being able to go out, and Bursa is going to get the kill onto Revolts, and RDZ will win out against the Valkyrie, and Guidance Gaming will win their first attacking round. Well played from Guidance Gaming, as they knew at the end they were running low on time. They couldn't just play the utility game to send in players to just deny the utility players the opportunity to do so. That pick from the, I believe, garage flank by the Hibana onto Diego was probably the most instrumental pick in the later half of that round, as it denied the ability for Pain Gaming to just play back and stop the plant now that they were under the 20-second mark. So a huge pick coming out from Bursa and RDZ already at 10 kills, and we're only 8 rounds into the match. He's been having an excellent showing so far. Guidance Gaming are going to drop the Monty this time around, even though Pain Gaming will return to the basement floor. That will slow down their clear of the server a little bit, but it's possible that Pain Gaming won't even play the server as aggressively as they saw how effective Guidance was at just pinching out those players. The big one in mind is the Jaeger, who, even though the Monty was taken out due to well played coordination between the Echo and the Jaeger, still really couldn't do much. Guidance Gaming, though, aren't going to be running the Ying for the second time around, who was so instrumental alongside that Monty in clearing out the server stairs position as well as server itself. And we are going to see FK1 once again giving ADSs to protect the smoke playing in this position. Once again, Norden taking up that mantle. He won't waste his gas canisters quite as freely this time around because there is no Monty that he needs to just stop the ingress of. So that should bode well for Pain Gaming. But it's always a difficult decision whether or not you want to play the smoke up there, because while he can be quite effective at stalling out the server stairs, all of the time you gain from that is lost because you will no longer have the smoke playing in the default position in red hallway that he would have been doing otherwise. And we can see the clear of ADSs in utility coming out, and that's forcing Norden to use his first gas canister. And again, every gas canister that's used here is not going to be used denying the plant. And the whole focus of the utility game down below is really baiting out those gas canisters, as that's what's going to deny you the ability to plant in default. And Alpha now has control of server stairs due to some well done coordination between the EMPs and throwing in the frag grenades. Smoke will fall all the way back after using one gas canister, and he's going to be back on site to play the utility game later on. So that is a good adaptation there from Pain Gaming to at least have the smoke back on site to try and stall things out a little bit further. You can see right now the mute jammer is designed to just slow down the opening of the server wall by the thermite. And we actually saw it having a lot of effect previously, as it took quite a few peaks from the side of Guidance Gaming to actually open it up, as I believe they were out of EMPs at the time. And once again, Miracle's going to have to peek in to try and get the mute jammer before he can detonate his charge. No one, though, from Pain Gaming around to capitalize on said peak, and wall will get opened up significantly earlier this time around. FK1 is now going to be playing on the main stairs, and that's going to give some backup to the Echo in particular in case that late round flank through Garage comes out once more, or even a flank through the main stairs. So Pain Gaming forfeiting their server play, and so far it looks to be the right read, as the second gas canister will come out around the 40-second mark. Still a good waste of time utility, and the final gas canister coming out around the 35-second mark. They should still have two C4s up as well as the Echo drone, which is going to make Miracle's life a little bit harder as he starts to go for the first big plant. He will fall back, and Alpha's actually going to get the pick onto Diego, so that's the Echo down, which is huge. So despite the lack of time, 1C4 has been used up, and Alpha and BMH just lighting up the scoreboard all orange. Alpha will finally be taken out by Norden, but he's in a 1v4. The only thing he has going for him is time, and it won't matter as BMH won't even let him get to the planter. And Guidance Gaming winning their second attack on the bank basement and pushing us to match point on map number 1. Just excellent, really, play from Guidance Gaming. While they were sluggish on opening up the server side, ultimately, we don't have the ability to see exactly what happened, but Diego, once again, falling in the garage as Echo during the final few seconds is not the position you can have Diego playing when your entire stall game is looking like it's relying on that Echo being able to deny the plant towards the end. Granted, even if he plays Garage and is taking the gunfight and wins it, that is still a win for Guidance Gaming as they are hoping to stall him out. But then Diego needs to be winning that gunfight either way. If you're going to be having the Echo play inside of Garage and you know that flank comes out from Guidance Gaming, he needs to be able to capitalize and handle it. And if he can't, then you have to play the Echo somewhere else. because there are other options on the site proper where you can play him to try and preserve his utility and possibly have someone else play the garage that is more comfortable and more confident taking those gunfights. Because you can't be losing that utility in the last 17 seconds, 2 rounds in a row. And Pain Gaming, they're not even going to gamble on that again. They've realized that the basement is just not working out for them, and they're going to go up to the top floor, which is the right call at this point in time. You're on match point, it's 6-2. You have to show something different to try and pull this out, and the top floor is a very valuable site. A lot of teams actually prefer it as their primary these days. So this should hopefully work out a little bit better for Pain Gaming, but as I say that, Miracle is just going to find FK1 early on. The Jaeger out in front of Janitor Closet and getting gunned down from the skylight. The Black Eye will also be spotted out by the Thermite, and that's a huge pick if you're Guidance Gaming and this is your match point attacking the top floor, as someone else is going to have to rotate to cover the elevator, hallway, and janitor. It's going to be a 5v4 for the duration of this round. In the first, 30 seconds, it's a 5v4. And FK1 has traditionally been one of the highest impact players for Pain Gaming when it comes to just winning at your gunfights. That's the roles that he's been put on, and I wouldn't say excelled in them lately because Pain Gaming as a whole hasn't excelled, but he's definitely shown himself to be competent in those roles. We can see the Valkyrie of Ghost trying to go for the garage run out once again to pick off, I believe, the Hibana of Bursa, who had been playing on those west side windows. But she's actually rotated off completely to the north side, so that run out's not going to find anything. And the Valkyrie's position is now going to be known to Guidance Gaming, who know they will now have just a 5v3 assault onto the site, at least until Ghost is able to rotate back. There was a player sent down that was RDZ to deal with him in case he tries to rotate through the server side, but the Valkyrie is actually going to be rotating through the main stairs. She is going to be pinched, though, by RDZ, and Norden will find the late refrag onto Miracle as Ghost will return to open area. BMH has also been downed, so all of a sudden this round is spiraling away from Guidance Gaming's control despite that early pick onto the Jaeger. Pain Gaming knowing that they can't give things up just quite yet. This is their last chance to stay in the big leagues. They're already relegated out of Latin American Pro League. They don't want to fall out of BR6 as well. They don't want to be in Series B and Challenger League at the same time. They want to start redeeming their rough performance for the past year and a half, really, and make something happen. As Pain Gaming has been one of those long mainstays at this level of play. Ghost is going to get another pick onto Alpha, so the man advantage is now going to be firmly in Pain Gaming's side, and BMH is extremely low on health as well. RDZ, though, will get the frag onto Ghost, but he's going to be downed himself and finished off by Norden, who will pick up 2 with the SMG-11. It's all up to Bursa in a 1v3 with 10 seconds left to go, and the Hibana is still repelled on the windows. This is a difficult position no matter which operator you are, and it's unlikely that Bursa is going to find anything, so you'll just save the KD still on the window repel. Pain Gaming getting their first defensive round here on the top floor, but this is where things get difficult. As you were down at a 6-2 score differential, you may have won that top floor, and they won it fairly effectively despite the Jaeger being picked off so early on. Now you have to show your ability to either defend the site you've lost twice, and pretty handedly both times, or you have to defend one of the tertiary sites on bank. Either way, it's not easy for Pain Gaming right now, as they have a huge hole they have to claw their way out of, and they're going to try and do it in the basement. They're actually going to be dropping the Echo entirely and putting Diego on the Maestro, which, despite the potency and power of Echo, I have to feel at this point is the right call from Pain Gaming, because the Echo has just not lived in Garage, and maybe Diego having the Alda instead of the MP5 SD is what it takes for him to actually win out that gunfight and not get picked off in the final few seconds, or maybe just playing the Maestro is how Diego wants to loosen up and take a couple other gunfights and not be just in position to try and deny the plan in the dying seconds of the round. Either way, I think this is going to allow a bit more flexibility to Diego, and it's definitely shown that he's not been effective in Garage as the Echo, so I think it is the right call. Now, I would have preferred if someone on Pain Gaming had capable of taking up the Echo as well, as Pain Gaming is also dropping one of their Nitro cells and some of the other intel they had in the form of the Black Eyes with the Valkyrie on their earlier basement defenses. So not only are you losing out on a bit of the utility game, you've already sacrificed your two mobile cams that are invisible, and now you've sacrificed the three cams that can be thrown anywhere. The only intel game they'll have at this point is Diego with his Maestro Evil Eyes, which can be taken out by nades or the Zofia charges if they're not positioned in if they're positioned in precarious positions. And ultimately, for a lot of the most effective Evil Eye placements, they are going to be in positions that can be taken out by Zofia Charge. And one's actually going to have to be dedicated to the Garage Flank Watch. It means they'll only have one on site to watch for the default plant. They also don't have a pulse available to try and give intel on when default plant is going on. So they have to rely entirely on their ears, which can prove detrimental should Guidance Gaming switch up where they're going to try and go for the plant, as we've seen a lot of teams do when the defenses start for intel. The changeup of the Ella, though, is designed to buy them more time on the server stairs hold and ultimately not put Norden in that dangerous position that he's played so much, and hopefully hold on to one of his gas canisters as we now see him just entirely on site. But Revolts could still get picked off here. He does have FK1 to try and play for refrags, but Alpha's going to land the first shot onto Revolts. The shotgun blast taking off a lot of Alpha's health, but ultimately Zofia will prove to be the superior sister. But Miracle going down to FK1 is a huge pick by Pain Gaming, as now the server wall will not be opened up by the Thermite, and Diffuser is also dropped in Sewer. FK1, knowing how much time he just bought his team doing so, will fall back, keeping things at a 4v4 as well, not playing his life for more than it's worth just quite yet. And ultimately, Guidance Gaming are going to be in a difficult position now, as they all have to funnel in through just the main door when they try and go for this default plant. The first gas canister will actually go off now, and it looks like it was taken out by an EMP or something, as it doesn't actually propagate. And the second one, going out around the 40-second mark, means that for all the time that was bought, it's not necessarily much different from the previous rounds. The huge difference is the fact that the server wall isn't intact anymore. As we tick down to the final 30 seconds, and Burst is going to be starting to go for this late flank that we've seen him do so many times. Norden's gas canister will find BMH, and Ghost still has the Nitro Cell, as well as Norden will find RDZ. The drop from the hatch will not be successful. Diego's there to gun him down, and it's all up to Alpha and a 1v4. The pick on the Thermite paying huge dividends for Pain Gaming here as they take their first defense of the basement and are finally starting to claw things back. However, they still have quite a bit of a hole to dig themselves out of, as Guidance Gaming had a 6-2 lead. It's now 6-4. And Pain Gaming has to show that they can defend one of the tertiary sites on basement. Regardless of whether they go tellers and archives or whether they go open area, both sides can be quite difficult in the current meta to defend on basement. Open area in particular being the harder one of the two in most teams' opinions, especially when the Mira is banned, but it's not like Teller's Archives is that much easier. We'll see if Pain Gaming can bring any sort of adaptations to their lineup, and you're going to actually see the Mozzie Mute combo coming out, and a lot of intel available to Pain Gaming actually, as they also have the Valkyrie, the Pulse, and the Maestro. So they should know what Guidance Gaming is trying to do at every step of the way, and the Mozzie Mute combo coming out is also quite effective at stalling out any sort of intel that that Guidance Gaming is trying to acquire with their drones. We've seen just how potent a proper Mozzie Mute setup can be against all sorts of attacking teams. Guidance Gaming, though, do have the Jackals, so the roam clear won't be as dependent on drones as it might otherwise be, and it is going to be Archives Tellers from Pain Gaming, which is a site that really rides and dies on how long can you maintain control of top floor, and the Mute Mozzie combo is designed to really stall out the clear of top floor. You're likely to see most of those pests and Mute Jammers be used up top, maybe even some mute jammers on the square walls. And Guidance Gaming has actually dropped the Thermite at this point, putting Miracle now on the Hibana, which is how Bursa was able to go onto the Jackal, which means those square walls, they can still be opened up by the Hibana, but you're going to be missing a lot of utility for opening up down below, possibly for the lobby side take, or just getting some of the hatches if they were reinforced. As you actually have quite a bit of an open area hold by the Mozzie, so opening up the hatch in an open area is likely necessary to clear him out of position. So Guidance Gaming, they're going to have to really pick and choose which walls are the most important for them to remove, but it doesn't look like the square walls are actually reinforced at all. So that's one wall that they don't have to worry about, is the Buck is just able to get top floor control. So despite some level of investment, Guidance Gaming gets the control, but the Pulse is going to actually down him out. The Buck trying to crawl away in vain as another C4 comes out and doesn't connect with anything. So the fact that they weren't able to confirm this kill onto the Buck means that they've actually lost a lot of utility. Now, RDZ will get up with only 20 health, so he's going to be just a bullet away from death from pretty much every single gun on the defensive side. But nevertheless, he's actually wasted a lot of utility with his body and opened up some holes without even having to use his skeleton key. He's going to spot out the Valkyrie as he opens up some more of the floor. And he's playing from the table so that no C4 can take him out quite so easily. Burst is going to get the first pick of the round onto Ghost, so that's the Valkyrie down. Her C4 was expended earlier on the mess of a play with the Buck up above as RDC just managed to crawl away. And you can see Alpha trying to ingress from the lobby side. Diego is playing inside of the elevator, so he'll have a nice long angle to try and contest the Zofia, but that's only if the customs hold works out from the Pulse. As we can see, FK1 has actually fallen off of the open area side. And Diego's also being Jackal pinged, and keep in mind the hatch above him has there's a soft hatch above him, so he could be taken out quite efficiently. FK1 will get the first frag for Guidance or for Pain Gaming, but not before his teammate of Norden was taken out as well. And Zofia seems to be flirting with the control of sight, but ultimately will not get anything as Diego pushes up from the elevators to gun her down. He's going to find a second onto Miracle, and FK1 will get the shot onto Bursa. So all of a sudden, it's just RDZ left in a 1v3. He will find one kill onto the Pulse, but he's got 20 HP, and he has to find two more. FK1 is extremely hurt, and so is Diego, but it doesn't matter for either defender as they have a nice crossfire going on. And Pain Gaming falling back round after round right now to put us at 6-5 and possibly steal this map away from Guidance. They're going to be going back to the top floor now, the first site that they won on this defensive run. And the big thing I think for Pain Gaming right now is the problem I've been highlighting with them pretty much all season long has been a lack of confidence on a lot of their players. Or at least that's what it appears to be from an outside perspective, is that they're afraid to take some of these gunfights, afraid to push in to challenge things, and just giving up map control way too freely and not taking it when they're on attack. When you start to swarm back a comeback like this, when you were down 6-2 and now it's one round away from overtime, that is probably the biggest confidence booster and morale boost that a team can get. And it's enough of a morale boost to bring back the Echo, who hasn't been too effective when Pain Gaming used him previously, but they have swapped around who is going to be playing the Echo. It's going to be Revolts this time instead of Diego, who's actually going to be on the mute, dropping the Meister that we saw him so potent on the round previously. Really, the thing that failed for Guidance Gaming there on their attack was they knew the Maestro's position. He was next on deck to be eliminated from a pretty effective roam clear, and then they just didn't. The Zofia was the one that was supposed to hold the cross angle alongside the Jackal, but instead it looked like a call had been made to push into B site, and ultimately that call probably wasn't the right one, or if they were going to push into B site, they needed to push in all the way and just get that site control. So then you have to make the Maestro have to retake on you instead of getting an easy pick from the lobby and now being able to turn on the other players that would pressure him, and also buying enough time for FK1 on the Mozzie to rotate to his assistance from open area. And once the Zofia fell and there was no pinch on the Maestro, it was a matter of heads up gunfights for a bit, and then ultimately it was pinches working against Guidance Gaming as the defenders rotated in position. Now, Guidance Gaming, if you're them and you want to close this map out here without letting it go to overtime, because you did have quite a significant lead, you have to mentally reset. And they are still running a very adaptive lineup, as we see that gridlock coming out for the first time. That's going to hamper the mobility of Pain Gaming's off-site players in particular, as well as keep a set of smoke grenades for guidance. The Thermite has returned, and Miracle's going to take up that role, which means Bursa has to go back to the Hibana, but we've seen him be so effective on the Hib so far anyway, so it shouldn't hurt things too much. And the IQ coming out this time when there is actually an Echo is probably the best pick of the lineup for Guidance Gaming right now. As you can see, a frag grenade being detonated by RDZ down below, who just has full Teller's control. It doesn't find anything, and Diego's actually the only player on either side that has taken any damage. I believe that was an earlier engagement, possibly with the gridlock at this long angle that you see her holding. As Guidance Gaming, they have one of the square walls open, but no early picks, and a minute left. We're going to have to start finding stuff soon to get the rest of the map control they need to really execute. But the bottom control is working out, as you see Norden just get pinched from a crossfire from down below and Bursa on the window, and it will be the Hibana who ultimately capitalizes. RDZ will find a second onto Ghost, so the bottom floor control still firmly in the hands of Guidance Gaming as we get to the final 40 seconds. Only one C4 left with Diego to try and deny the plant, but they do still have revolts on the Echo, but the flashes and just the site ingress means he won't be able to play his drones right now. One of his teammates will be down, and that's the C4 out of the picture, so no denial available. FK1 trying to land the shots through the cabinet, and he will get it onto Miracle, so it's still a 4v3 as he's now going to start picking up his teammate of Diego, but Alpha is pushing up from the stairs. But FK1 turning away at just the wrong time allows Alpha to capitalize and get 2 kills. The IQ aggressing in. Now she just has to find the Echo, and it looks like she knows the position of the Echo. She'll spot out the back, but it's BMH to capitalize, and Guidance Gaming will take map number 1. After a bit of a scare there from Pain Gaming as they rally together 4 rounds in a row, Guidance Gaming proving that they are the more adaptable lineup. They are the more adaptable team, at least here on Bank. And they'll close things out at a 7-5. The crossfires really paying off for Guidance Gaming in that final push. And the beauty of siege timing happening to FK1 as there was a moment where Alpha wasn't looking at the angle, and then FK1 turned away from the angle, and then Alpha ran in there, gunned down 2, and at that point the round was over, despite some attempted denial of the plant earlier by the Jaeger. Unfortunate situation there if you are Pain Gaming, and you have to hope that a death like that doesn't start to demoralize the roster that looked to feel a bit re-energized. Those 4 rounds we saw of Pain Gaming were a different Pain Gaming than we've seen in a long time. They were taking gunfights, they were maneuvering around the map together, setting up their crossfires, not being afraid to challenge angles. I mean, Diego pushing up to kill the Zofia, while obviously the right call and a play that you would expect players to make, is not the kind of play I've seen Pain Gaming do in a long time. It often feels like they just kind of passively try and hold on to map control and then just get picked off in the process. So I'm liking the initiative we've been seeing from Pain Gaming those 4 rounds, and I'm hoping that despite Guidance Gaming pulling back the map and denying the comeback, and despite Alpha and FK1 just having unfortunate siege timing that directly led to the death of 2 players, that's not going to demoralize the players of Pain Gaming too much, and that they're going to feel better going into the second map. So we get a bit more of a match going on, as we did for 4 rounds there, where it was very close, and those are the kind of matches that we like to see, or at least I like to see, where both teams are definitely fighting one another, because this is the match that you should definitely be fighting one another for. This is where everything comes for the seasons of both of these teams and will determine a year's worth of matches for both of these teams. One of these teams will get to Series A, and one will have to play in Series B. If you're paying gaming, you know what the top tier of playing Latam plays like. You've played at that tier for who knows how long. Pain Gaming is an org that has been in the scene for the top of Latam for quite a while. They finally got relegated for, well, I don't want to say finally, as that sounds like it was something a long time coming, which is a disservice to Pain Gaming because they won all of the relegation matches that they faced previously. But ultimately, it was last season of Pro League where Pain Gaming was relegated. And now they're in that same position in BR6. They didn't get the auto relegation spot this time like they did in Pro League because Red Devils was kind enough to say that's their claim. But they're still finding themselves now staring down the barrel of elimination. This time, though, they can fight for their lives. They couldn't fight for their lives in Pro League because they were auto relegated. And ultimately, if you're paying gaming or guidance gaming, this is the moment where you put everything on the line. Just show a different side of yourself and really fight for every inch because you're not going to get a chance to do this again. Not for at least 3 months if you're trying to get into Pro League and you win out through the Challenger League season and then get to fight your relegation matches. There's no auto promotion anymore for Challenger League either. So you can't even go for just that approach. You have to win against one of the two bottom teams. And right now, that's Immortals and Red Devils. And while Red Devils has not looked great, and I hope that the pickup of Levi will help them, as well as the fact that they should announce some sort of roster change at this half, as I know Brown and Velvet were benched for some internal reasons, and then Brown has continued to play because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to maintain a roster. But I believe that Abrao is also going to be replaced at the halfway point of the season. So you hope that those roster changes turn Red Devils into a bit more potent of a force. But obviously, right now, if you're looking at it, Red Devils is the easier target if you get that far in Challenger. But the other competition right now looks like it's going to be Immortals, which is Immortals. They have been slumping, and it's been a difficult slump to watch. But they're still Immortals, and there's still a lot of potential in that roster, and they've shown it time and time again. They have represented Latin America for the past 2 seasons at the international final. They were almost defeated last season of Pro League. If you're paying gaming, you've already faced Immortals, and you were defeated 2-0 earlier in the BR6 relegations. So, Immortals is not an easy target despite their slump, and you have to imagine that Immortals, while they may not make it to Japan this season based on their first half performance, they should improve between now and the end of the second half. I would hope substantially and start being a valuable threat. And even if they're in that 7th or 8th place position at the end of the season, they might be competing at the caliber of the top 4 teams of Latin America as they were doing earlier. And if they crawl their way out of the 7th place position, well, then your competition could be realistically Black Dragons, Liquid, or INTZ, all of whom have shown themselves to be so potent this season, especially INTZ, who have really stepped up and found those missing pieces, as we saw them come quite close to a number of wins in some of the previous seasons and throughout BR6. I mean, I always think back to FaZe, as I think that's one of the underrated rivalries that no one knows or talks about. At least that's how it feels like from my perspective. I don't know if it is discussed more in the Latin American scene. But I think back to FaZe and INTZ matches, and up until the draw in their most recent meetup in Pro League, that was always a 7-5 in FaZe's favor. And a 7-5 is the closest scoreline you can get outside of a draw. And INTZ was always able to fight for that on every single map that those two teams played. I think it was a streak of like 5 or 6 maps that it was a 7-5 scoreline. That means just one round changes, INTZ comes out on top, and INTZ has now shown that they can make that one round change and get to a draw. So they've definitely shown themselves to be a potent team. They had the upset over Liquid previously. We all know Liquid is a powerhouse of a team, even if they're also slumping. And Black Dragons continues to display those flashes of brilliance, I'd say. So it's not an easy path into Pro League. So you got to win what you can right now. And Guidance Gaming, they're going to be the ones that are going to be set up for such a victory. As we'll now get onto Villa, the first band coming out once again from Pain Gaming, and that's going to be the Maverick. Thatcher band from Guidance Gaming means that Hard Breach Denial is going to be extremely difficult to remove without vertical play for either of these teams, because the Maverick can't now open up the walls and just deny the bandit that way, and the Thatcher can't just remove that utility. Now, you can still have the Zofia concussions on quite a few portions of the map to try and reset the animations and prevent something like a bandit trick, but of course impact tricking is more likely to be used on those walls, and the walls that you want to clear out are the ones that are going to most likely have a bandit or a mute in play. That means both of these teams are going to have to take a lot more map control, as they're going to want to get that bottom floor control to really most effectively remove the utility put in place to deny them. And you can see that's going to be the Kaid and the Mute. At least that's what's going to be teased so far. The Buck and the Zofia on the side of Guidance Gaming, alongside the IQ, are your best bets to go down below and take out said utilities so that Miracle can open up the walls that he needs to. One thing I want to note is that Pain Gaming, they're not going to be running the Maestro or the Echo, although I believe the Echo was banned, although I did miss that last ban. I know the Mirror was banned, and I'll have to see later what the last ban was, but either way, not running the Maestro at the very least. It's not the most uncommon thing, as powerful as those two operators are, they're not necessarily must picks, and the fact that you have the Kaid, who it looks like he's going to actually be electrifying 4 walls at the same time. I'm not sure if that's actually possible in the position he's in, as I know that's directly beneath the study side, but because of the bit of a gap that there is at the top of that wall, it might not be doable. At the very least, it's going to be resting on a soft wall, but I'm sure they've tested this out, and maybe he just wants to electrify it from below and then reinforce those walls to make it a little bit harder for whichever player of Guidance Gaming is sent to clear to get the electric claw from down there. But Pain Gaming, they're going to be lacking a lot of intel, as they don't have any of the straight up cams or something like a pulse available. The best thing they have is the Legion of Revolts. And yeah, it looks like the Electric Claw is only catching the lower wall. It's not actually going to be used on the upper study wall at all. But maybe we'll see back up there in Aviator in a bit and be able to tell what's going on there. Either way, Pin Gaming, they're not going to be investing a lot in terms of information for themselves, but they do have a lot as far as information denial and really just app control ultimately between the Kaid and the Legion, being able to stall out the pushes from Guidance Gaming, knowing that Guidance Gaming, they're likely going to have to send someone down below to deal with stuff like the mute jammers. There are, I think, some positions you might be able to throw a frag up above, but ADSs are more likely to catch that. Diego's going to eat a little bit of damage and be finished off by RDZ, but he still has to find one more down below before he can even start thinking about clearing. Alpha is going to get the pick onto Ghost, though, so that's your mute and your Kaid down. Revolts will get the refrag onto Alpha, and FK1 is still in position down below, as is Revolts. That means it's just Norden on the site, and RDC is going to gun down Revolts as well. FK1 will catch the buck with his back turned, and Norden, he's going to have to hold out on this onslaught while FK1 tries to go for the flank, as the plant is going down from Miracle. FK1 doesn't have any sort of denial from below, and it doesn't seem like Norden was aware to throw out a gas canister, and he now has to find 3 or wait for his teammate to get in a good position to help out. He won't find even 1, and it's up to Norden and FK1 in a 1v3 retake, and he's down to about 5 health, and a flame bolt will hit him and take him out. The Capitao assassinating the Jaeger at the very end there, and Guidance Gaming winning the first attack here on Villa. And ultimately, I think My worry into the start of that round is what hurt Pain Gaming the most, and that was that they didn't have any form of raw intel. Or the smoke just wasn't in position to deny. I like the concept of that lower floor roam, but I think it would be greatly assisted by having something like a Pulse or a Valkyrie so you can capitalize on if you hold on down there, that you can get that C4 in position to try and deny the default plant. So that even if Norden's off on his own playing the site, he's not entirely responsible for what goes down on the site. But no lineup change coming out here from Pain Gaming. And when you have such a peculiar setup, I don't say that with any sort of disinterest or derision towards the setup. I actually do think it was a decent setup. But when you have one like that and you don't change up the lineup after it fails, the reason I worry is because you know the team is just going to get faster and adapt better to attacking that lineup. Now they know how you want to roam down below. Now they even know how many people you put down. So FK1's not going to get a free kill on the buck again because they're more than likely to be extra vigilant with their droning to spot out if you send that many people that deep on the lower floor roam. And Guidance Gaming is gonna just hopefully clear things out faster, or they might just hit the site sooner because you can see Miracle doing that swap over to the Nomad. They're not even investing in a hard breach this time around. They're not worried about opening up the wall to get into site. They just know that if they can get site control, they can deny these roamers or even retaking, as they can just set a couple air jabs on the staircases and slow down any assistance that Norden might otherwise have on the site. As we saw at one point, at least, Pain Gaming had 4 people on the roam. Looks like Diego is going to be here to back up the smoke this time around, and the mute's not playing too far off, but Revolts, he's all the way in astronomy, and he's going to eat a lot of damage and try and fall back. The question is if anyone on Guidance Gaming is in position to cut him off, and it doesn't appear that anyone is. So the Legion will be able to fall back to the rest of his team. He seemed to be really circling around the site this time around. We don't have as much of that vertical presence that we had previously from Pain Gaming, and a lot more play on the site so that Norden doesn't get overwhelmed. And this could work out quite well for Pain Gaming, as Guidance Gaming has not brought the ability to open up the walls this time around, so they're going to have to funnel a lot harder. You can see 3 of them stacked up on this vault, and the mute playing the bar, knowing that, or at least anticipating at this point, that the wall isn't getting open. The air jab being set up in position will make it harder for FK1 to retake up, and it's going to be up to the 4 players of Pain Gaming, all positioned on the site, to really just win out gunfights, and they should have this pretty effectively if Guidance Gaming isn't able to use their utility well, as they have to funnel in through what are essentially 2 doors, really. Now, one thing they do have going for them is the fact that they have the buck. They're trying to make sure if there's any ADSs set up in position on the vault to catch his nades, because otherwise he could get some damage done to the players inside of the vault. And Alpha's actually going to take down Diego, so that's a kid taken out, as Miracle now has site control. RDZ is going to get a pick onto Ghost, and Norden's going to have to try and push up and deny this plant, which he will be successful in, but the Capital will immediately run into position to try and go for it again. Revolts, though, will find 2 more, and all of a sudden, man advantage is going to be on the side of Pain Gaming, as they'll find another from Norden, and FK1 will shut down the Capital, so the funnel just not working out for Guidance Gaming. While they won those heads-up gunfights charging in, ultimately, they still have to deal with the rest of the players on site, who had a very easy time shutting down such a funneled approach. And that's what happens when you drop the hard breach. That was definitely the wrong call in hindsight for if you're Guidance Gaming, but I do understand why they went for it. They saw just how heavy the offsite presence was from Pain Gaming in the previous round, and the fact that they were sticking the same lineup on the next round. Okay, that's not my mouse. And ultimately, they said, okay, we don't necessarily have to open up the site a lot or make it easier for us to get in, because if we keep it hard for us to get in and we overwhelm the one player playing on site, we can make it impossible for the defense to retake, especially if they don't have any of the thermite holes to work around themselves. As if the attack had been able to just overwhelm the site and funnel in, they would have made it extremely difficult for whatever roamers of Pain Gaming there might be to retake, as they would essentially have to attack the site without any of the utility that attack gets to do so. But Pain Gaming made the right read and they four stacked on the site. I don't know if there was a call that the guidance wasn't running a thermite, whether they were able to figure that out early on. Because keep in mind the thermite was 6 picked off of it, wasn't shown that there wasn't going to be a thermite. But either way, Pain Gaming correctly making the read and winning the round as a result. They're not going to be going to trophy statuary, they're going to be given a nice benefit as Miracle will take down RDZ, and that buck will not be in play for the duration of this round. That's going to make opening up down below firmly rust on the hands of Bursa with the Zofia. Now, they do still have the IQ, so they can get rid of utility without necessarily opening up the floors. The IQ could just spot it through her sensor and just shoot it through the soft floor, which looks to be the plan here from Alpha, and BMH is going to be his protection so that the IQ can firmly focus onto the ceiling above her and not have to worry too much about a possible flank. Now, one thing I do want to commend Pain Gaming for so far is the fact that they took this first round, and Guidance Gaming previously 7-0'd their competition of Vivo Keyed on Villa. Now, Guidance Gaming did start on the defense there, whereas Pain Gaming is on the defense this time around, so it was a huge advantage in that sense for Guidance Gaming. And Pain Gaming, they're going to want to make sure that more rounds really work out how the previous one did, and I mean more than just winning, but also making the proper reads and the adaptations to how Guidance Gaming wants to execute. Because their defense, I think, is going to be the make or break of Villa. Villa tends to be defensive favorite, but we saw just how effective Guidance Gaming was when they were playing Villa previously. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Guidance Gaming was on attack on Villa because I kept commenting on their drone play, and you don't get that opportunity if it was a 7-0 and only one attack. So, Pain Gaming taking that one defensive round after Guidance Gaming has shown themselves to be so potent of a team on the attack, that's pretty big if you are Pain Gaming. And it's just going to be made better as Ghost takes down Alpha, the IQ off of the board. Bursa will get a refrag onto Diego, but the earlier team kill means that man advantage still for Pain Gaming as Norton will find another onto BMH. That leaves it up to Bursa and Miracle. They did get the pick onto Norton ultimately at the end there. So it's not an impossible man count to work their way out of, but they're staring down the Legion, the Jaeger, and the Mute. If the Mute still has a Nitrocell, that is a good form of denial, also available to Pain Gaming. The Sophia's going to drop and I believe try and push up Astronomy stairs to get a pinch going alongside Miracle and clear out the player in Astronomy while Miracle gets their attention on the Master Bedroom side. I think the Mute Jammers are still in play, which is why the Thermite hasn't been able to open up the wall. Bursa will give away his position, though, from a pre-fire onto the rotate hole, and he's going to light up. No, actually, it was a dead body he shot at, as FK1 will shut him down when he vaults through, and Ghost will deal the finishing blow to Miracle. Pain Gaming getting the two of their Villa defenses on the two primary sites. Tertiary site is the crux pin, I think, of most teams on every map, because most maps have two good sites. On some maps like Villa and Clubhouse, those two sites are really, really good. And on other maps like Border, one of them is, especially depending on how operator bans work, one of them tends to be pretty damn good, and then the other one tends to be alright. The tertiary side for every map really starts to paint a picture of how effective the defense is playing. Because that's when you can tell how much of it is on just the map and how much of it is on their adaptations and their setups. And Villa at least does have two other bomb sites that are at least viable. They may not be as good as the upstairs sites, but Dining and Kitchen in particular is a fairly potent site. And if we see the same kind of verticality just in the opposite direction from Pain Gaming that we saw them employ on Aviator, they can do a lot of damage from above because that entire floor can be opened up. That's why we likely have RDZ swapping to the sledge instead of the buck, as the hammer is going to be just as effective at opening up the floor as the shotgun would be. Pain Gaming, they're going to be investing in a lot more information this time around than they've had in previous rounds with the Valkyrie and the Pulse, but they're still not going to be running something like the Meister to have that dedicated information also be on site. You can see the drone from BMH feeding intel about this spawn peak, but ultimately Ghost will still win out on that gunfight. Miracle had everything going for him, and the Lion will fall first, regardless. An unfortunate situation if you are Miracle and showing off the potency of these fights on land, although I'm not actually sure if this match is on land, even though the rest of BR6 is. And if it's not, then Ghost just landing an excellent shot and taking out the big adaptation that Guidance Gaming brought, where they dropped their Thermite and their Hard Breach so that they could have that line the utility he brings. Alpha will get a refrag onto Norden, but Diego going to be finishing off Alpha. So the smoke taken out in exchange for the Ash. That would be a good trade if you are Guidance Gaming. It's made a lot better by Bursa evening out the man count and taking down the Pulse. He's inches away from getting side control. Actually, they have side control as the Capital managed to work his way in. That's BMH. He's going to flame it out so that there was no immediate retake from Pain Gaming, and the plant's going down by the Zofia. An excellent read there from Guidance Gaming as they swarm the site, catching the roamers unaware and killing them all on the attempted retake. RDZ and Bursa just tacking on those kills at the end and denying the funnel from Pain Gaming into their own site. So what we saw them try and do previously on Aviator Games, the second time they attacked it, when they read that Pain Gaming really likes to extend their roams and hold on to some of the other portions of the map. Well, it didn't work out previously on Aviator Games because of the fact that Pain Gaming made an adaptation and four stacked the site, and Guidance did not have a Thermite to open up and deny that four stack from having success. But the second time around with that strategy, when they're attacking a different site, Pain Gaming isn't stacking up heavily on the site. And the best anchor they had to hold things down, he was picked off by the Ash early on. So despite the early kill onto Miracle playing the Lion from Ghost, the round will still go Guidance Gaming's way. Pain Gaming will now get to return to Aviator Games, and they could still walk away with a win on their defensive set, as they will now just have to defend their two primary sites. They'll go here, and they'll probably go Trophy Statuary if they win. Again, Pain Gaming running the same lineup they've ran every single time on Aviator Games, and again, I'm going to have some level of questions with it, because while it worked out one round, it did not at all the first round. The big thing that worked out for them previously was the fact that Miracle dropped the Thermite because he was expecting the heavier roam presence. Miracle's going to be running the Thermite this time around, and you can see Revolt's still far off site as is K1, so less of a site stack, but the walls will get opened up either way, although the Mute and the Kid not having to worry about a Thatcher will make it a little bit harder for Guidance Gaming, but they've shown their ability to gain control down below, and you can already see RDZ on the buck working his way in from the dining side. I would like to see a bit more intel or something to just capitalize on the fact that they want to maintain roam pressure. They're not even actually going to be playing down below, so Alpha is going to be able to just open in and push into Piano. So these Mute Jammers and these Electro Claws on the walls, they're not going to last for long. They don't have the IQ, which means that Guidance Gaming has to be a little bit slower in opening this up, but they have two shotguns available, as well as possibly the impacts of the Zofia and the frag grenades from RDZ to really open up the floor as much as they need. The first frag grenade will not find anything unless there was some sort of utility positioned above it that I did not see. But ultimately, Guidance Gaming, they have all the map control they want. They have the study control, and Bursa's going to abuse it to get a kill onto Diego. That's your cut taken down. He'll do a lot of damage to the Zofia because of the power of that DMR shotgun, but ultimately he will still fall. And that's either an Nitrocell or impacts. So either denial of the wall or just flat out plant denial gone on the side of Pain Gaming. And probably more importantly, that's one of the site players, and you don't have a lot right now. Ghost, though, has returned to the site and will play alongside Norden, so the two SAS operators are going to try and hold out on this study side take. But ultimately, Guidance Gaming, they have the study control they want. They have the bottom floor control they wanted. The execute is likely to come out soon, and the question is whether the remaining members of Pain Gaming are going to be able to survive that execute. As the study wall towards the bar side will be attempted to be open, but Norden, being successful on the impact trick, will deny it, and Ghost will throw out a C4 that will find two for the price of one. That's the Zofia and the Thermite gone before the wall is opened up, and all of a sudden, Guidance Gaming finds himself in a mirror of their second attack of the site. No Thermite to open up the wall, and they have to swarm in. RDZ, though, will make things easier as he picks off the mute and the smoke grenade or the smoke bolt from the Capitao covering up his ingress, but it won't matter as Norden guns him down anyway, and FK1 pushes in to take down BMH and RDZ. So the smoke bolt just not landing in the right position. Had it gone a bit deeper, hit the door frame, it would have made it a lot harder for the Jaeger to deny that push. And the refrag onto Norden was likely to come out soon and completely vacate site control over to Guidance Gaming. So a bit of a misplaced smoke bolt there, but ultimately what cost them that round was the fact that Ghost and Norden, in combination with one another, prevented the Thermite from opening up the wall. The first impact trick stopped the Thermite charge, after which Norden made the call to Ghost that they are trying to Thermite which wall in particular, and Ghost got lucky with the C4 that he picked up too. He was just going for the Thermite and denying the opening of that wall, which would have been a huge pick in and of itself. Taking the Sophia down as well was just icing on the cake. And boy, did it work out for Pain Gaming as they have their first lead of this series. Good position to be in if you are Pain Gaming, but if you're Guidance Gaming, especially if you're able to take this trophy statuary attack, I don't think you're sweating too much. While we haven't seen the same dominant performance that Guidance Gaming showed against Vivo Keto on this map, it's still Villa. You're still going to defense, and the bans, they're really in defense's favor this time around because of the fact that these walls are going to be so difficult to open up. You've seen how slow Guidance Gaming has been on that on the rounds where they've had a Thermite, and I think that's a large portion of why they've also sometimes just dropped the Thermite in general. This time they will drop him for another hard breach, the Hibana, but either way, I think Guidance Gaming is realizing just how difficult it is to get in because of the Thatcher and the Maverick ban. They really have to rely on RDZ being able to open things up below, but that takes a lot of time because of the amount of map control you have to get before you can even do such a thing. The Maestro will come out from Pain Gaming for the first time in this match, and I think that's a really good call from Pain Gaming as the extra intel is definitely going to pay them dividends on this site, and we've also seen how comfortable Diego is feeling with that Alda. While he may not have the same success with some of the other guns he's been tasked with using, there's not really a lot of ways you can mess up the Alda. The IQ will spot out two gadgets, but the bane of every IQ's existence where it just seems like you're hitting the bars as you try and get the mute jammer from below. And it looks like Alpha is actually just going to completely give up on that approach. It looks like it might not have even been on a soft floor, as it might have just been the outline through the other side. The impact trick will find half of the X Kairos, but ultimately that's enough of the wall opened up to try and deny the successive impact tricks. It'll actually be the Capitao who's going to hold the angle as the Hibana will jump onto her drone. Ghost has eaten a fair bit of damage, but other than that, we're halfway through the round, and nothing has really happened between these two teams. Guidance Gaming, once again, trying to slowly but surely take their map control that they want. Now, they've been pretty successful in getting the map control they want on a number of these rounds. It's been the executes afterwards that have stalled out, I think in large part because of how difficult opening up these walls have been. Miracle is going to get bathroom control, and he's going to continue to peek into the holes he made earlier as Bursa will find the smoke, a huge opening pick, and Miracle will take down Diego. That's the Maestro down. So your best forms of denial and stalling out the site gone for Pain Gaming, and the next best form, the Nitrocell, gone as well as Ghost will be finished off by BMH. FK1 will try and swing things a little bit in his team's favor, but ultimately he'll miss too many shots, and it's a bit of a messy fight. BMH will get the other member of his team in Alpha, realizing he just doesn't have to fight the Jaeger at this point. Runs over to the site. The Jaeger's going to take the time to reload his guns, but he has to fight through a 1v5 post-plant situation. It's all but done and dusted, and Alpha will make sure it's a flawless round for Guidance Gaming. Despite the start of that messy fight on the stairs, IQ proving to be the superior German operator, at least in that engagement, and Guidance Gaming are going to walk away from the split at a 3-3, which when you're attacking Villa, you're more than happy with that. This puts Pain Gaming in a difficult position, as I do believe it is a best of 3 here instead of the best of 5 that was previously scheduled, and you are now on the unfavorable side of a map, staring down the barrel of elimination, as your opponents have already gained the first map. In addition, this is Pain Gaming, who have struggled the most on their attacks because of how hesitant they've been to get map control, get site control. And now you really, really have to get map control because of the Thatcher math ban. To their benefit, Guidance Gaming, they're not going to invest too heavily in the hard breach denial. They're just going to run the mute. So Pain Gaming, they don't have to rely as much on getting vertical pressure to try and remove those tools that Guidance Gaming might utilize. But there's still stuff like the Maestro cams and the ADSs that are going to be very difficult to remove without a Thatcher in play. And you'll have to burn out the ADSs before you can even start to work on the Maestro cams. Assuming, of course, that the Jaeger is positioning his ADSs with such protection in mind. You also only have 4 sets of utility ultimately to deal with those Evil Eyes. You have the 2 frag grenades on the Buck and the 2 impacts on the Zofia. Norden and Ghost, if they're not running stuns, those ADSs could really make your life difficult, as you now have to clear those before you can even get rid of the Evil Eyes that are going to be proven to be a constant nuisance, really. You can see Bursa and RDZ playing down below, knowing that more than likely, Pain Gaming is going to realize that they have to clear down below if they want to have some success on this take. And you even have the Legion helping out. BMH and Miracle being the only 2 site players, but if you're going to have only 2, Maestro and Smoke are as good as it gets. This long angle opened up for BMH to play down below is definitely going to help out his roamers as well. As this heavy stack inside of the kitchen dining is purely designed to waste the time and probably keep the mute jammer intact that is most likely set up on the master bedroom walls. The longer they can stall that out, the harder Pain Gaming is going to have when they attack, and ultimately, you don't want to be funneling onto the master bedroom side if that is your take. BMH just opening up more and more angles for himself to play off of, as he knows he's not being pressured early on. The more angles he can create, the more damage he can potentially do while still staying on the site to support Miracle. And we're at about almost the final minute, and it doesn't really look like Pain Gaming has acquired much, if any, map control. I believe most of their members are still outside of the map. And this is the same kind of hesitancy that we've seen from them before. There is actually a player directly above Bursa, so if he has the intel, he could go for the C4, and he will, and that's going to be Ghost taken down. Revolts, though, will find 2 onto the site players of the Smoke and the Maestro. It's going to be up to the roamers on a retake. Norton's going to shut down Alphas. And Pain Gaming looking in good position to try and close out their first attacking round, especially as FK1 will find RDZ. Bursa, he's got 1 HP. He has to get the ace in this 1v4 retake. If he wants to pull this back for his team, he's going to miss some shots, and ultimately that's going to be his demise as Diego's there to capitalize. And a mirror of the flaws in Pain Gaming setups hurting Guidance Gaming, as well as the side players just get overwhelmed by the push, and the roamers have to retake and will be gunned down at every turn. We are seeing now, though, a site change and a Kaed being brought out by Guidance Gaming. So it's going to make life even harder for the Thermite and probably necessitate the clear even more, as while Trophy Statuary is definitely a site you want a hard breach open, especially for the master bedroom wall, you can't kind of circumvent it because of the doorways you have, and in particular, the thing that threw that in the favor of Pain Gaming was that they could push in from Astronomy and get full Astronomy control, as Guidance wasn't heavily contesting Astronomy, and BMH was playing on the site and got gunned down, I believe, through astronomy when he got pinched. You don't really have that luxury when you're attacking the aviator game site. You really want to open up either the study side walls or the 90 side walls and get in position to go for default plan. The Electro Claws and the Mute Jammers are going to make that a lot harder if you are Pain Gaming, especially if Guidance Gaming takes care to shotgun out the floor of studies, so you can't even place a thermite charge on the ground to first open up and spot out wherever the Mute Jammers might be. Impact tricking is also likely to be a cause of concern for Pain Gaming, so it's going to be very difficult for Norden to do his job. And that's what Guidance Gaming is going to be capitalizing on, is they want to waste the time and force the attackers to funnel based on the nature of these bans. They were not successful in Trophy Statuary, but they are hoping that Aviator Games will be a different situation. You can see the Maestro playing inside of 90, currently just relying on the default camera, possibly also having, and there you can see it, the Evil Eye set up to give him intel as well. You can see the hatch has been blown out, so not only does that give BMH a bit of a cheeky angle to play from above, it will make it harder for that Maestro cam to be taken out. The Zophia's impacts or the frag grenades of the Buck could both drop the floor. And BMH, realizing that he's getting pressured a bit more than he's comfortable with on the window, will fall back and out of that position, reinforcing the wall behind him. You can actually see they had a pre-placed mute jammer designed for that exact rotate, as now the vault wall is going to be difficult for for Norden to take out as well. The peak from Bursa from the bedroom side not paying off, as FK1 will land a beautiful shot onto the mute, who's likely peeking that with the SMG-11. A bit of a daring peek if you are Bursa, but he has wasted a bit more of Pain Gaming's time. Alpha, though, will get droned out, and he's going to have to fight his way out. He'll do a bit of damage to the Zofia, and will actually run into the study, gaining control for at least a little bit, and finally retreating back to the site. The Legion will be alive for this final execute, as it's going to be a 5v4 onto the site proper, with none of the walls being opened up just quite yet. RDZ, the only player off site, will get the pick onto Diego, so that's your IQ taken out. The Buck trying to apply vertical pressure, but now his protection, the IQ, is gone, so he has to worry about hunting this Jaeger before he can continue to pressure anchors on site. It's going to be up to the rest of his team to try and make some magic happen as they push in from this study side without any walls opened up in their favor, just a handful of angles, and a defense as a Maestro who can just hold them, as well as a Miracle with a C4. That's Norden taken out, so the Thermite, he wasn't getting anything yet anyway. He will definitely not get anything now, and it's going to prompt a rotate to the 90 side. The Evil Eye is going to be instrumental in providing intel on how this push is looking, as I think all three remaining members of Pain Gaming are stacked up on the 90 side push. Actually, Revolts will push in from the study, but BMH will get FK1. Revolts will get the refrag onto Miracle, but his teammate is down. He's stuck in barbed wire. There's nowhere for him to go, and Guidance Gaming will get their first round of the defensive set, keeping us even at a 4-4. The impact of that Thatcher ban and that Maverick ban, I know I've brought it up a lot, but it really can't be understated right now, as it's making it nigh impossible for any walls to get opened up. To do so, you really have to commit to going either down below if it's an upstairs site, or up above if it's a downstairs site. And while you would like to go there anyway, typically you don't start applying that pressure solely to get those walls open. You're applying that pressure to try and maneuver other players out of position while the walls are getting opened, and ultimately funneling and cordoning the anchors into a few set areas that they can play safely. But because the walls never get open, the anchors don't have to worry as much about anything being opened up below them, and the roamers know exactly where they need to contest and how they need to contest it, because they're going to be heavily focused on denying those bucks and those IQs that try and go down below. That is going to be the entire purpose if you're a roamer in this match right now. And right now, Guidance Gaming, they've shown a little bit more fortitude in that approach than Pain Gaming has. In fact, a lot of when Pain Gaming was successful wasn't really off the back of their roamers. It was the fact that the anchors would either win or they would lose their holds up top, and that would determine whether or not the round would be won or lost. Guidance Gaming, at least, their anchors seem to be doing all right on the Aviator side. They did fall apart a bit on the Trophy Statuary side, and a lot of these rounds seem to be coming down to these heads up gunfights that, bear in mind, should be firmly in the advantage of the anchoring side because the walls are not being opened up and it's a funnel for the attackers. If that trend continues, Guidance Gaming is looking comfortable to finally close things out here on Villa and not even allow this to go to a map 3. Pain Gaming are the ones that are going to have to adapt entirely, and so far the lineup is staying the same, and it is a very flexible, comfortable lineup, so nothing too surprising there from the attack. But they will have to deal with Alpha on the Clash, which is a adaptation coming out from Guidance Gaming. Most likely we're going to also see Bursa playing nearby with the Clash, as the Doc Clash combo quite potent, especially in ranked games, but even here in comp, a Doc playing behind the Clash is one of the best operators you can put behind said Clash, as not only does he have the ACOG and just the ability to take the multiple gunfights that the Clash gives him and heal himself up if he takes a little bit of damage after that peak and can peek from longer ranges, he can also help out the Clash if she takes damage from something like a Firebolt or a Zofia charge. By when they fall back, he can easily heal her up. And Pain Gaming, really right now, just trying to find how they want to progress in. This wall is going to be Electro Claw, so it's going to be difficult for Norden to deal with. The Flashbang will go out to try and spot out if there's anything to catch the frag grenade that is being now prepped by Revolt. And the Pulse, playing a bit too close for comfort, not realizing what that flash grenade meant. And the frag grenade will also down the Kaid. BMH will fire back one against Diego, but Diego's going to have a perfect trade with that. So it's going to be all up to the Clash and the Doc, who are off site to save the round. Bursa playing with the P90, not a common weapon we see with the Doc. It has a great fire rate, but ultimately the comfort and ease of use is firmly with the MP5, and Revolt's can get 2 more for himself. It's all looking lost for the Doc. He's going to get down at finished off by Revolt. The Buck just going on a rampage and tearing through the defense. Pulse really just playing too close to the wall after that flashbang came out. By the point that flashbang comes out, you know that they were checking to see if there was an ADS there, and they just want to get rid of the Electro Claw. That frag grenade is coming out either way. Grip the Pulse, just back off from that position. The frag grenade isn't designed to take you down, it's just designed to get the Electro Claw. You getting taken down with it, that is the best possible scenario there for Revolts, and boy was he happy to get it. Made even better when he downed Miracle as well. So Pain Game is going to regain the lead and put themselves 1 round away from taking match point. And it's been an episode of some surprising back and forth here on Villa, despite the bans seeming to indicate that it would be towards the attack's favor. I'm not sure if there's going to be... Okay, it doesn't look like there was any rehost things. It looks like they just wanted to remove some stuff on the screen. But ultimately, they're going to be returning back to the dining kitchen as they don't want to gamble with the trophy statuary. RDZ is actually going to drop the Pulse and swap over to the Capcan, ideally slowing down Pain Gaming's ingress a little bit more, and most optimally punishing Pain Gaming if their drone work isn't on point, or if they're just not checking the doors properly, or if Pain Gaming finds themselves rushing in. There are actually some other benefits of the Capcan pick here that I think will help out the anchor play in particular, as if you have a Capcan set up on the doors, the attack is going to either set off a large explosion and take some damage when they try and rush in on you on the site, or they're going to shoot it out first. Either way, you will have the intel that a player is trying to push from that direction if you're the anchor, and you don't have to worry so much about being caught unawares. Hopefully, RDC being on the Capcan also means he won't be playing as close to the wall as he was previously, so the Buck won't be gifted 2 free kills as a result, and that should also help out Guidance Gaming quite a bit, as that was really the catalyst that cost them that round. But you do have Bursa playing aggressively here on the bedroom windows. As of the most recent patch, for whatever reason, that one window isn't barricaded by default, and that can work kind of both ways on this map. Either attackers can use it and hold an angle without the defense even being aware that that window is being played, or the defense can do vice versa and no worries of being noticed for a possible peek. Bursa is going to be droned out and he's unable to get the shot onto the drone. So it's going to be some drone utility surviving for the side of Pain Gaming, which is going to be important, especially as we get into the later parts of this round when they find themselves starting to execute onto the site. But Bursa, he's not going to give up statuary without a fight. He knows he had to fall back from bedroom as there's just too many angles that he has to contest there. But the store of statuary, that's his to play. And he's going to push into the bedroom and light up the Capita. He's going to eat some damage in return. And the Firebolt is going to deny his ingress. But a good waste of time and utility coming out from the Jaeger. As Ghost, he's going to be on the brink of death for the rest of this round. There are no resets anymore. Well, technically they are, but at 20 HP, it's not a substantial difference. The Capitao being lit up so much and having to waste a Firebolt onto this Jaeger, and they still haven't cleared him out as Bursa will now push into the bathroom. This is looking good for Guidance Gaming as they have quite a bit of map control still on their side, and they've wasted over 2 minutes of the round, and they still have a clash in play to just waste more. It looks like RDZ is prepping for a possible run out to try and help out the clash. That's going to wait on a call from his teammate of when he needs to ingress onto the door from the outside. And Bursa still playing upstairs in the bathroom, just denying the bedroom side take. The Thermite was able to open up the eastern wall, so that is something that Pain Gaming has going for them. And FK1 will finally finish off Bursa with 20 seconds left in the round. So that is a good pick. They'll finally have the man advantage, but they have very little time to execute. And quite a few anchoring defenders to deal with, as it's going to be a funnel here at the end. Norden, though, will get one, and Diego will get a second onto Miracle. So they're just winning out their gunfights. This is up to the Capcan and the Clash. And Plant is going down from Norden, but he has to stick it now. And RDZ is going to get Diego, but his teammate's going to be gunned down. He might be able to pick up the Clash, but the plant has been completed, and they have to find 4. Clash will be revived as RDZ will now have to try and pinch from the other side while the Clash gets attention on herself. FK1 is watching the angle for the Capcan's approach, but he's going to fall off of it for a second. And Norden will get the pick onto Alpha. RDZ's position is known, and he's not winning out the gunfight with the Zofia today, as she'll pull out the pistol and take him down. And Pain Gaming will push us to match point. So despite Guidance Gaming having the advantage of playing their defensive set here on Villa, they are just looking as complacent as Pain Gaming, who, despite everything working out for Guidance Gaming really in that round, they had wasted more than enough time. They had map control. All the anchors lost the heads-up gunfights. They all had to hold, particularly just a handful of angles, and they could even play them a bit more passively, but ultimately the players on Pain Gaming pushed in and were the ones that won those 1v1 coin toss of gunfights. And I think it's a good call if they choose to go back there to just not run the Clash again, as I don't think she's been that effective. The whole point of a Clash is to delay time and stall things out. And Guidance Gaming did a great job of stalling things out, stalling time, but it wasn't because of the Clash. It was because Jaeger, Bursa, was so effective upstairs on his roam. That's where all the time was stalled. The Clash was just playing close to the site and didn't waste any time whatsoever. And ultimately, that was just one less gun that could get refrags and trades on the side of Guidance Gaming when that assault came onto the site. You can see there that the Clash was left alive as the second last defender left every single time because the players of Pain Gaming, they weren't fussed about her. They pushed in, killed the rest of her anchors, and didn't have to worry about a refrag as there was no way the Clash is pulling out her gun in time to kill you because you're attacking her teammate. It's not quite like a Monty who can drop his shield and gun you while you're taking out his companion. Still, Guidance Gaming does get to go back to Aviator Games, a site they've looked a lot stronger on for their next defense. So this isn't out of the question yet, as they'll only have to find one other defensive round after this to push things to overtime here on Villa. The Mute and the Kaid coming out once again to make the Thermite's life extremely difficult because of that Thatcher Mav ban. But despite all that, we have not been seeing as defensive favorite of a Villa as one would expect based on the bans and the nature of the map. And Pain Gaming, every round they get is going to instill them with more and more confidence. And Tiego's so close to a kill there on the Maestro. His little ankles sticking out the drone hole, but ultimately the Maestro falls off of that position, unaware how close to death he was for just a moment. It's unlikely he's going to walk in front of that drone hole again, as I don't think that's a position that he wanted to play early on. It was most likely some sort of late setup. And Ghost will actually spot out the back of the Mute. He will take down Bursa, but not before the Mute was able to take down his companion of the Zofia. And this is going to give away the Capitão's position inside of Astronomy. But they've actually downed RDZ on the Jaeger. So the roam from Guidance Gaming will fall just like that. At about the halfway point of the round, they get one pick in the process, but ultimately that's probably not going to be enough, and it's going to come down pretty heavily to the anchor play of BMH, Alpha, and Miracle. Next on deck, though, looks to be Alpha, I believe, on the Legion. As Diego knows his position and can just hold this angle to try and prevent him from ruining his teammate's day. That still is going to mean a 3v2 ingress onto the site, so it's likely they're going to leave the IQ in position. Or they might just pinch with the Capitão. Drone will be taken out, and Norden and everyone else on his team, they know about this player playing right in the corner, but they haven't found a way to dislodge him yet. If they still have a frag grenade here on the Buck, that could be a free kill onto Alpha with a well-thrown frag, but it doesn't look like anything's coming out. The angle is still being held onto the Legion, but it looks like he has some form of intel that is letting him know not to ingress yet, as the IQ, she's getting wary. She's trying to figure out how she can best push this position the Legion is playing, as Miracle will gun down the teammate of Norden. Actually, she just forgets about the Legion. It looks like they probably thought he rotated off at some other point. Miracle's going to get another pick onto Ghost. Revolts will get the headshot onto the Maestro, but he's got 2 seconds, and this ain't happening. Regardless of what he does, Miracle's going to drop down and take him out with the Han Solo pistol. And Guidance Gaming falling back another round to try and push things to overtime. Will they be successful, or will Pain Gaming do exactly what Guidance did to them on the previous map and shut them down at the 7-5 scoreline? Unfortunate play there from the IQ. They knew the Legion was in that position, but there was no pinch, no use of utility, nothing to try and dissuade him from said position. And ultimately, I think the IQ just figured, well, he must have rotated at this point, and I just missed it. Because she turned her back to the Legion entirely and gave Alpha one of the easiest kills of his career. Speaking of Alpha, he's going to be going back to the Clash. And I don't like this play at this point. I think it was a decent idea to start with. I think it's a decent strat. They're trying this different look multiple times here on Kitchen Dining, as they're not even going to reattempt Trophy Statuary at all. But the Clash hasn't been working for you one bit. And ultimately, it's been coming down to your anchorage play. They do have the smoke this time, which I think is new, so the anchor shouldn't feel too pressured, but every single thing they put for their anchoring utility while still running that Clash is one less thing to help out the roaming play, which was what delayed enough time to even make those rounds close. RDZ is actually going to be in the Jaeger this time, as Bursa is on the Maestro, so that's likely one less roamer, unless they're going to put the Maestro into an aggressive position upstairs. This drone from FK1 not being spotted out just yet by Pain Gaming, so that's also going to give a lot of intel to the members of Pain Gaming as towards how many players are stacking up on the site. And we've seen how that's determined the nature of these attacks for both of these teams. When the players are heavily stacked up on site, they can do a pretty easy clear and try and attack the site normally. When the players have spread out and heavily roamed, despite the lack of the thermite, they're not as afraid to just push in and take the gunfights with the handful of anchors, knowing that they're likely to get the trades and the refrags. And that's actually something I haven't been expecting to say about Pain Gaming for a while. For once, Pain Gaming has been unafraid to push into site. They've been doing it a bit late, but I think every site attack they've won that way has just sped things up because now they're more comfortable of taking that gunfight earlier on. We are seeing the Clash this time no longer be as heavily on site here to support the Maestro of Bursa playing from Astronomy side. And we saw that Bursa wasted quite a bit of time here as the Jaeger previously. There's a lot more utility on the line if he passes this time, though, but that Alda, those 81 bullets in the hands of a skilled gunner, you might just be irremovable unless the proper pinch comes out from Pain Gaming. That Alda is a powerful, powerful weapon in the game, arguably the most powerful gun on defense currently. So Burst is just looking to see how much time and damage he can do upstairs, and half the round has already ticked away, and Pain Gaming, once again, not really having a lot of luck getting map control. It's the same kind of story that we've seen from Pain Gaming previously, and ADS is there to catch out the stun grenades, and will finally be burned out by the stun grenades, and the frag grenade should come out and deal with this Electro Claw shortly. And it looks like it actually whiffed. He's going to have to throw out a second one, hoping to catch this Electro Claw. And so far, I think the Electro Claw might still be up. It's hard to tell if that nade went off or not. You have RDZ on this deep flank down below to try and retake. But if that Electro Claw is still in position, good luck to the Thermite. And indeed it is, and both frag grenades have been wasted. They could try and get it with an impact, or they're going to have to get control of top floor to take it out, and they do not have any control of top floor. This is more of what the Pain Gaming we've been seeing, as you can see 3 members at least, possibly 4, just outside at 20 seconds in the round. The most map control they had was Norden pushing in, and RDZ will take down Ghost on his late flank coming up the stairs. That should cap it out Dawn, and that means that there's no way of obscuring the sightlines of the anchors left in play. Shots will ring out and hurt RDZ, but there's only 4 seconds left as Bursa will finish off FK1. Bursa with 2, another one onto Norden. A flurry of kills coming out for Pain Gaming for a second, but Miracle and RDZ are there to get the refrags. And Guidance Gaming will push us to overtime here on Villa. And contrary to what you might think about the bans, we've had 2 3-3 splits, which means that Pain Gaming getting the defense here on Villa, in theory, shouldn't make a difference. But I don't think it's going to be that way in actuality. I do think that Pain Gaming still has the advantage because these bans should make any map, regardless of which one it is, more defensive favored. But especially true for a map like Villa. So the fact that this has been such a back and forth contest, I think is a testament to both these teams' attacks for sure, but also a bit of a criticism on some of the defenses we've seen them running, where it's been kind of static for both of these teams as far as their adaptations go on the defensive side. But Guidance Gaming, they are going to be running adaptation on the attacking side, as we can see the Ying being brought out once again. This time it's going to be BMH taking up that job instead of RDZ. They'll drop the Capitao for it, so they've lost their only set of smokes. But the goal is pretty straightforward. If we have to funnel through in just a handful of positions, well, we can just prevent the defenders from playing the angles that would gun us down on said positions. Assuming, of course, the Ying is not used just on a pure roam clear position, which is how she was utilized on Bank. But one thing to note about Ying's Candelas that kind of gets missed, it's not always going to be that a Ying Candela is thrown out to flash the defender, blind them, and give a free kill. That is the best case scenario, obviously, because that is a free kill. But it can be just as effective being thrown onto an angle that a defender might be playing. Let's say you have Revolts here playing an Astronomy, and a Candela comes in from the bathroom side. Well, he can no longer look towards the bathroom side. He can't hold that angle. Even if it's only for a couple seconds, he has to turn his head away. Those couple seconds in Siege are more than enough time for a player from Guidance Gaming to capitalize on the lack of angle play from the defense and either get the map control or get a possible kill in the process. And that is most likely how we're going to be seeing this Ying used, because a lot of these have come to those late round funnels in through the handful of doors available to the attack because they haven't been as successful in opening up walls because of the Thatcher and the Maverick ban. So this Ying could pay huge dividends. Burstle's going to eat a little bit of damage early on in the round, as RDZ once again tries to get the control down below to deal with some of these mute jammers alongside the IQ as well as the Electro Claws. One mute jammer will be taken out by the IQ of Alpha, and he's going to try and find more of the stuff that's denying the ingress from the study. There are Electro Claws that he still has to find. He's going to spot out one ADS, and if he can get that, that's going to be huge for BMH in particular, as he won't have to worry about his Ying Candles being burned out, but it will not be successful from the IQ. And she's not going to waste too much time with it, as she knows she has to get into position elsewhere and push up the red stairs. The stun grenades, though, will try and burn out said ADS that was spotted out so that the Yin Candelas and, well, frag grenades, if they had still been in play from the Buck, can have some more success as we're getting into the final half of the round. Jordan holding an angle onto the 90 hallway, and this is what I mean about walls being impossible to open right now, especially when you have Kaed actually Electroclaw tricking. He's going to catch that Thermite charge more than likely. As, yep, I don't know if Miracle lost his charge in the process, but it, no, he still had it. So good play from the Thermite. And you can actually see the Yin Candelos denying the chance for an impact trick as it will go soaring over the holes, open up for it, and allow the Thermite to open up this wall, which could be the pivotal moment for Guidance Gaming to take this round, but they don't have a lot of time to work with, as now they're going to have to push into the anchoring players of Diego, Ghost, and Norden. Yin Candelas will go off, and that'll allow BMH to get control behind the bar, but the gas canister is choking her out, and she'll be gunned down. The Ying taken out by Diego. Miracle looks to be next on deck for a gunfight, and Norden's there with a shotgun to take him down, so it's still a bit of a funnel through a singular doorway. Bursa will get the kill, but Revulse will have found one onto RDZ in the meantime, and Ghost will get one onto Alpha. It's all up to Bursa. He's going to be taken down by FK1, and Pain Gaming will get the first round of overtime. Defense showing off the sheer pressure they have, really, because of the nature of these bans. They got the wall opened up with the Thermite, but it took so long that they didn't have really any other sort of map control, and they couldn't dedicate players to pinch in from multiple angles at the same time. And we saw 3 players funnel in through a singular wall. 2 died in the process, and the third got a kill, but was ultimately left in a 1v4. The Ying play from Guidance Gaming was useful in opening up that wall for sure. That Ying Candela denied the last chances of impact trickings or another Electric Claw trick, but ultimately wasn't useful on the ingress on site, as all of the members of Pain Gaming had rotated out of the bar side of the map and had moved over to the Aviator side. And since the Ying didn't have anyone to fight with, she was just charging through smoke, giving up her health for no reason. A peek from the Kaid through the vault door. It didn't matter where that shot landed, that was a kill for the Kaid. And Diego capitalized. Now Guidance Gaming are going to find themselves with their backs against the walls yet again after clawing back to overtime. Can they find the success they need here on their defensive set? And they have been, I believe, 100% success rate so far on their Aviator games hold. The real question is going to be after this, can they attack one of Pain Gaming's other sites with the nature of these bans? That Mute Electroclaw combo just being so detrimental to the attack because, again, that Mav Thatcher ban. And it really goes to show just how powerful strategic bans can be in this game. There may not be a lot of bans that you can do compared to something like League of Legends, but the bans that you can get off can be quite potent if they're not just the standard bans that you might see. And I think one of the big things that has helped out attacking sided bans and changed up how attack has to play has been the fact that Lion was removed and quarantined for a while and has come back a little bit weaker as teams are still having to adapt and get used to how the new Lion plays. That means that both ban slots have really been opened up for the side of the attack. And Glaz's nerf as well has taken away another one of those constant ban attacks or attack operators. Defense doesn't have quite that luxury where you have the Maestro, Echo, and Mira being pretty consistently banned. You'll ban one of the 3 at least, and typically you'll ban 2 of the 3. And we saw how deadly defense can be when they have all 3 of those options available on the previous map with Bank, as none of them were banned except for the Mira, sorry. But just having 2 of those options available in the Echo and the Maestro, especially Echo currently, can have such a huge impact and have to fundamentally change how the attack will push in. Speaking of pushing in, we're almost down to the final minute, and The most map control they seem to have is the bedroom side, as it's going to be a north take once again from the red stairs. Hopefully, Alpha won't just be allowed to play in his small little cubby once again. But they haven't really cleared out any of the roams that could potentially come in for the flank. There's no Nomad or Gridlocks in play either to try and slow down that retake in that flank, or at least give the intel on its positioning. But it looks like it won't matter to Ghost or Diego, as they will pick off one each. Final 40 seconds coming in, the frag grenade's going to go sailing out, and that should mean the wall gets opened up. But the Electroclaw trick might be what it takes. Norden will take off his thermite charge, reading that, so he's not going to lose it. And the wall will be opened up. The impact trick unsuccessful from Alpha, and there goes the vault, and Ghost is there to capitalize onto Alpha. Miracle will find one, but his teammate will be taken off. He'll have to make a miracle happen. It will not, and we will go to map 3 as Pain Gaming wins round 14 here on Villa with a pretty beautifully executed attack there, stealing away that map from Guidance Gaming and not going down without a fight. And this is more of the Pain Gaming that I think we need to see if we want to have this be a close contest between the two teams. The Pain Gaming that will push into the map, that will get some level of map control. And then when they execute, they'll take those gunfights. And look, Pain Gaming, sometimes when you take those gunfights, you win. As you can see, those 14 and 11 kills kind of speak for themselves. I do not know what map number 3 is, but I think Pain Gaming in particular is going to have a lot of momentum riding off of that. And I think that bodes well for them because their biggest issues, I do think, are more so on a lot of their mental state right now. I don't think that they necessarily have great strats or coordination per se, because obviously if they did, they'd be in a better place right now. But I do think that the biggest thing holding them back thus far has been the fear and hesitancy they've shown in just about every match. And I guess if there's one match to show up to and not have that same fear, it's this one. And they're fighting back against Guidance Gaming. And Guidance Gaming, they haven't looked to have the same nailing of fundamentals, fighting for the refrags, having constantly well positioned flank watch and drones that they had per se on their previous playday. But ultimately, I think a lot of these have been just heads up gunfights that Pain Gaming has been winning when it comes down to that last second swarming of the site, which is how every round was going to turn out because of the Thatcher Mav ban. And right now, it looks like Pain Gaming is just better at that. When they have to just suddenly swarm the site, they've been doing a better job of getting their players in positions where they can win at those gunfights when it comes time. And that's why we just saw a Villa that was evenly split between attacker and defense wins despite a Mav and a Thatcher ban. Not something you see every day. You rarely see Villa be evenly split regardless. Even when Villa has some of its more attacker geared runs, it tends to then be that it's attacker favored, and we've seen that happen a couple of times. I don't want to talk about Rec vs. Rogue again, but it's something that we see happen now and again, but most of the time Villa is very much a defensive sided map. If it isn't because of some banning, I feel like it almost always sways the entire opposite direction, and this was an even split. And the real surprising part about that was, again, those Mav and Thatcher bans. But I do think map 3, it's going to come down, again, a lot to the comfort that Pain Gaming has. I don't know how big either of these teams' map pools are, and that could make a huge difference here now that they're pushed to a map 3. If Pain Gaming just isn't comfortable on the next map, or vice versa for Guidance Gaming, we could see the close fought contest that we've had thus far kind of evaporate. And I do think Pain Gaming, they found a lot of their footing and confidence off of that near comeback they had on Bank. They didn't pull it off. They fell short at the 7-5 scoreline. But to pull together 4 rounds in a row like that, that seems to have breathed a breath of fresh air, really, into this roster and this team that has needed it for a long, long time. And if that's what it takes for them to reinvent and pull something off here, that's going to be difficult for Guidance Gaming to overcome. But I do think Guidance Gaming can overcome that if you're a fan of that team, as they also have been fighting desperately for a spot in the top tier of Latin American play for a while now. I remember they tried to get in Challenger League for the season 9 season and fell short. They tried again for this current season 10 season, fell short. I don't know about their previous BR6 Series B performance, but my point is this is a roster and a team and an org that has been striving for this moment quite often in the past year, really. And now it's all one map away. They got the first map win. They need to get one more, and then they're in. And once you're in, that's the door's open. You don't get in and then get worried. Oh, I'm gonna get kicked out immediately after. No, you got a full year season to make a name for yourself and prove yourselves. And we've seen how hard teams can claw to both stay in and get in time and time again. Red Devils, they have been struggling since the second half of season 9 when they had an unfortunate roster change and other reasons. But at the match that mattered the most to that team, their relegation match at the end of season 9, they showed up. Phoenix in particular showed up and they won. And now no one cares that Gaming got close. Red Devils are still the team that's in Pro League. That's going to be the case for the next 3 months, regardless of how poorly they may perform. That's what makes these relegation matches so important and also so much of a toss up, as a team can bring it all out here and show off and get it, and then can still continue to struggle and falter. We saw that with Red Devils. And to a degree, we've seen that with Pain Gaming, as Pain Gaming was fighting relegation matches previously as well, and didn't get auto relegated until the end of season 9. But regardless, we should be getting into the next match shortly, and until then, I'm going to rest my voice for a bit so I don't strain myself too much. But I hope you guys are enjoying, and yeah. Well, I rested my voice for like 3 seconds, and now we're into Consulate, the final map. And this is a map that, while it's been hard to find map stats or information for either one of these teams, in quite honesty, especially for Guidance Gaming, but even to a degree for Pain Gaming. Well, it hasn't been hard to find stuff for Pain Gaming as far as they played, but it's hard to find stuff that Pain Gaming has been successful on because they haven't won in ages. And similarly for Guidance Gaming, not really similarly, but differently for Guidance Gaming, they're just a lot of the matches they played. I can't really find stuff on CGG as easily for. I have to scour through Wikipedia, but just from a breakdown of how we've seen these teams playing on Consulate, I think this could be a very fascinating map if both of these teams are comfortable. Because Pain Gaming has the thing that they've struggled the most with is feeling comfortable of taking map control on attack. And Consulate is one of the few maps in this game where you can actually get some of that early map control without as much difficulty as you might on some other places. Like, most teams can do a pretty effective admin clear, or there's just the front door push to get yourselves into piano or something like that. It's not the hardest thing in the world, although there are definitely entrances that the defense decides to play aggressively on, such as the Visa side and whatnot, or even just piano. Then it can be kind of difficult, but the sheer number of windows and the amount of utility available to the attack means your first foot into the building shouldn't be the most difficult thing in the world. If it is, then you're going to really start struggling. And Pain Gaming, that has been their biggest weakness, so this will help them alleviate some of that. But towards Guidance Gaming side, the thing that I've seen them be most effective at in their previous match that I casted for them was their fundamentals. And by that, I mean their drone work, with their flank drones in particular, and people constantly watching those and checking those and capitalizing on that information. And also their ability to fight for trades and refrags. Constant is probably one of the best maps to do that on, because of the fact that roamers can constantly rotate to help one another out due to the nature of the 3 staircases and be in position to help one another out. But also the drone work There's a lot of singular door frames you go through, which means that your flank drones can catch a lot more, and they can also go into a lot more positions. And it's going to be up to the Mute and the Mozzie to really slow that down from Guidance Gaming. As all the stuff I just talked about what makes it a little bit easier to drone, is going to work actively against them, as they'll have less avenues that they can go through. Top floor defense coming out from Pain Gaming first and foremost here, as we're going to be seeing that bathroom investment. We're actually going to have Norden on the smoke being the one playing yellow stairs. We see a lot of teams rotate who they want to put in that position, most commonly the Jaeger, but the smoke isn't the worst play either if the yellow stairs is the crux of your defense, which for a lot of teams it is. The gas canisters means he can choke out and survive there for quite a while, and the shotgun at that range is going to take down anyone if you could just land that singular shot you need. The one thing is, because he's not a Jaeger, he can't actually try and Jaeger trick to deal with the nades from RDZ, and he also has to deal with Capital bolts, so it's possible he's taken out pretty efficiently and quickly, and there it is, RDZ, taking out that smoke in less than a minute starting the round. And as a result, that's going to be a lot of utility gone for Pain Gaming, and more importantly, Yellow Stairs control, while not 100% vacated, because Diego is still playing this long angle from the bathroom, isn't going to be nearly as effective, especially not as he takes some more damage from the second of RDC's nades, but it's not enough to finish him off, and we've seen how much damage players can do off of a single bit of HP, especially when they're in a power position that they need to hold onto, and Revolts will finally get the trade onto RDZ, thus your buck gone. Some of the pressure from below will not be possible now, but ultimately it will pay off in Pain Gaming's favor, especially as FK1 is able to take down Alpha, and that's going to be your Nomad out of play. She might have set up her air jabs, and we'll see one go off, and the flank drone will also spot it out as it happens. So everyone should be aware that FK1 is inside a piano, but the run out from Revolts will find one. Miracle will get another onto Diego, and he's actually in sight. But Yellow Stairs control was vacated back to the defense as FK1 will take down Miracle, and it's all up to Persona 1v3. He's on this bathroom rappel as he swings in. It should be an easy kill here for FK1. And he's not actually going to swing in as he thinks better of that, realizing that such a play isn't going to work out. He does have 40 seconds to work with. It's not the worst situation to be in, but he has to get through 3 defenders who can just given a lot of time to set up some powerful cross angles, and Diffuser is on site. Revolts is going to be first on deck from the yellow stairs, but it's actually going to be Bursa pushing in from the spiral stairs. He is walking right into a crossfire held by the Mute, and the Mute's going to be the one to peek out and win out the gunfight. And Pain Gaming won their first defensive round here on the top floor. Guidance Gaming starting on the back foot on map number 3. And if this game turns into a question of momentum between the two teams, that could be difficult. Guidance Gaming, especially because the round started off perfect. They got the player playing yellow stairs, and then they got Diego down to extremely low health, and he was finally finished off quite easily by the Thermite. But ultimately, the roam game, especially coming out from FK1 and Revolts, was able to pinch out the players that were trying to maneuver and, I guess, remove the last of the side play in terms of Norden. And Yellow Stairs control, while in Guidance Gaming's favor early on, it wasn't held onto, and we saw FK1 was able to then use it to deny the plant, and that's why the Yellow Stairs position is so powerful. As you open up that wall, and you just have to walk up yellow stairs, you get a free kill on the planter. Unless he's some sort of god who pops off of it and one-taps you, but that's not going to happen. And when you read into a defense being that focused on the yellow stairs hold, when you still have teammates up in play, you do need to take control of it. Now, they wanted to try and use the Zofia to cut off the push from the front side. That's why she was still playing on the bathroom. But there is an argument to be made that maybe if she had repelled in sooner, assuming there wasn't a cross onto her window, which is hard to tell sometimes from the spectating position, and after Diego had been taken out, of course, she might have been able to stop the push-up yellow stairs that led to the demise of the planter, and if that plant goes down, it's a whole different story. Revolts being successful on that run out as well was huge, as it got rid of the planter's coverage from the front side, which is part of why the Zofia couldn't just take control of yellow stairs. But a lot of that had more to do with FK1 doing some hero plays to deal with the players that were designed to stop the run out, as a Claymore isn't always going to be enough, and indeed it wasn't. No air jab set up on the yellow stairs position either, which could have helped deny that run out as well. The Capital Firebolt not finding success because Revolt has perched atop of the file cabinets. He did take some bullets from afar, but it looks like that was just a read, and a shot. Ghost will get one onto BMH, but he will be immediately refragged by the Thermite, but you're trading your castle for a Capital. That's an excellent pick if you're paying gaming, and one you're more than happy about. As this admin clear just proven to be more difficult for Guidance Gaming than they expected. Bursa trying to get the pick onto one of the players there, but meanwhile, Norden will take down his teammate in Alpha, and FK1 and Revolt still holding on to admin control at the halfway point of the round. FK1 will finally fall back, realizing that he's contested this for more than long enough, because the site is the split site. RDC will get one onto Norden, but Diego's there for the refrag with a Nitro Cell, and FK1 will take down Miracle and down Diffuser in the doorway. Once again, Bursa finds himself in a 1v3. He'll get the head of Revolts this time, so a better showing than he had the previous 1v3 he was in. And the two defenders are actually isolated and unable to hold any sort of crossfires on one another. But I don't know if Diego's Nitro Cell has been used, and either way, he'll be able to provide a lot of intel so FK1 can go for the pre-fire exactly how he wants. It's going to be a heads-up gunfight where he has all of the advantage considering the low health of the Zofia. She is going to consistently pop up to try and deal with the players pushing her from down below, but Diego's actually going to win out the gunfight pretty handily through the holes in the floor, and even if he hadn't, that would have been an easy kill for the Jaeger. Pain Gaming going up 2 rounds on their first 2 defenses, and Guidance Gaming, they're going to have to start showing up soon if they want to get into Series A. Pain Gaming really looks revitalized. I am seeing the kind of aggressive and roam plays necessary to hold on to further spots of the map that we hadn't seen from Pain Gaming. A lot of times, it felt like Pain Gaming would hold on to a part of this map and then just say, "Oh, they started attacking. All right, we're out. Bye." And that obviously doesn't work. If you keep forfeiting it immediately the first sign of trouble, well, that you may as well have just not played it. You're not wasting enough time. You're not really accomplishing anything. And then they would all get picked off later when they're trying to rotate out of there anyway. Now, the members of Pain Gaming, they, especially FK1 and Revolts, they don't seem to be afraid of taking gunfights and just challenging, and it's causing Guidance to kind of fall back a bit. They're clear of the admin not working out because of a file cabinet, really, but ultimately something they should have been aware of, as that isn't an uncommon position to perch up on to avoid that exact fireball. They did still have nades in the form of RDZ, and it's possible they could have burned things out and gotten success that way. Either way, they are going to lose out on what is the quadruciary site for most teams. As very few teams are actually going to go to the split site. Most teams will prefer lobby side hold. And it's not going to have to be a garage take, and it looks like there's going to be a heavy admin side clear coming out from Guidance Gaming. This time they won't have to run into anyone contesting it, and depending on how effective their drones were, and indeed it seems like they were quite effective, they know that and will just get the control. The Buck and Sophia are going to start making a mess of the floor to try and deny the late rotates that might come out from Pain Gaming. You can see some of these holes that are opened up there directly above some of the singular stairwells that a player like Ghost will have to push through if he wants to retake onto the first or second floors. Bursa and RDZ making quick work trying to push up onto this one roamer up top, but Revolts is actually going to land the C4 from Bathroom and take down Sophia. So once again, the opening frag going in the favor of Pain Gaming, which did the previous round. And this time, no refrag coming out from Guidance Gaming as the player got him with a Nitro Cell, and there was no one in position down below to deal with said mute in the bathroom. Top floor control will finally be in the hands of Guidance Gaming, and while the time management was efficient, losing the Zofia and not doing any damage to a single defender in the process is definitely not the way you want to go. They do know that there is a player playing inside of the bathroom, and it looks like RDC is going to be the one tasked to try and clear him out. We saw one more player from Pain Gaming rotate down below, and it looks like it's just going to be the mute left solo holding up top. Alpha's going to eat a lot of damage and be brought down extremely low on health. He will do some damage in return to Revolts, as Revolts gets pinched by RDZ and finished off. So a lot of damage done by the mute, and ultimately he wasted a good amount of time and set up FK1 for a kill onto Alpha, who, despite having the information, just did not have the health for that gunfight. He would have had to land a beautiful shot to pull it off, and BMH will land such a shot onto Nord until the smoke is taken out. There are still one C4 available for denial when you are Pain Gaming, but the Maestro being taken off the board doesn't make things any easier, and RDZ landing a nice shot onto that singular C4 means plant can come down soon. FK1 will land another one, so it's going to be a 1v2, and the players of Guidance Gaming will read into this and not plant near the yellow stairs, denying the Jaeger the ability for an easy retake, and BMH is going to gun him down as he tries to push in. I believe that was an attempted hatch drop coming. No, it was a spiral stairs take from the Jaeger, and good flank drones likely in position for Guidance Gaming, as we've seen them prove that time and time again. They know where to set up their drones and have good coordination and comms to capitalize on said drones for those flank watches, which is why you saw the Capitao able to turn around the moment the call was made and fire out the shots and end FK1's attempts at a retake. A much better round from Guidance Gaming, despite the unfortunate death of Bursa early on, because good read or intel, whichever one it was, for the mute, ending that Sophia's life early on. And despite fighting back from that deficit, we saw Guidance Gaming then utilize what manpower they had left to execute pinches on to the remaining players. RDZ working together with Alpha to get the mute was excellent, and FK1 made a good refrag there onto the Nomad shortly after. But the big thing was that the Rome presence was taken out, and it was going to be up to FK1 to try and position elsewhere. And meanwhile, the garage take was working off quite well between the Capitao and the Thermite, who were just doing their way through and caught the defenders on their aggressive peaks of the garage, or possibly on ill-advised rotates. And when the rest of your team is doing their job while you're up top as RDZ, you can just focus on your flank watch rolls, and focus on them he did, as we saw him gun down the head of Ghost. Nevertheless, Pain Gaming do get to go back upstairs this time around. We saw them win this site fairly handedly last time, although a lot of it came down to a impressive roam game from FK1 and Revulse, and particularly on that retake of Yellow Stairs. And Norden is going to still play Yellow Stairs as aggressively as he did before, so this once again should be a possible nade for the Buck, as all the ADS will be burned out. The smoke's exact position will be called out by the Capitao. He will lose the drone in the process. That means he can flame off the smoke's rotate, but Norden, reading the flames, will just run through right as they start to activate. He'll take a little bit of damage, but he's managed to escape to the bathroom, and a gas canister is going to slow down the Yellow Stairs take. And meanwhile, Miracle's drone is going to go up just to make sure they have Yellow Stairs firmly in their control. They do still have to contest with Diego, who's going to play the long angle from bathroom, and it's going to be likely up to the Zofia of Bursa to take that gunfight. He's checking to see if anyone's playing the door aggressively, and the concussion will not actually go off in bathroom, so he knows Diego has vacated. Yellow Stairs in control of Guidance Gaming once again at the halfway point of the round. This time there were no picks in the process, but they also cleared out bathroom more efficiently than they did before, and are likely to be able to hold on to Yellow Stairs this time around. So good positional advantage if you are Guidance Gaming, but they're going to have to start using it to capitalize on something, and it will not be a kill onto the Jaeger, not just quite yet, as FK1 will spot out the pixel of Alpha's head, and that's the Nomad taken out. Once again, he's going to trigger that same air jab in a repeat of previously, and hopefully someone's going to be watching the Yellow Stairs door for the inevitable run out that comes in. RDZ is going to get the kill onto Norden, and the smoke will be taken down. Bursa's Claymore will find FK1, but not before he was able to take down RDZ, so things are going to stay at 3v3. But this time, one of the impact roamers from before was taken out. The ping might be there for Revolts, and indeed it is. The C4 will connect with miracle, and that's going to be the Thermite and the Planter taken down. Bursa will spot out the head of one player, and he's going to take him down. That's Ghost, but his teammate will be gunned down by Revolt still on this roam. Bursa knows he has to just find one more up here before he has full control of the top floor, but Diego is the better shot with the Alda and will win things out. Guidance Gaming finding themselves down 3-1 here on their attacking set of Consulate, unable to crack the code that is the top floor defense coming out from Pain Gaming. A better start from Guidance Gaming there, even though they didn't get that initial pick. I do think they had a better job of clearing yellow stairs for sure. And their map control and positional advantages were a lot better. We saw some of those claymores were in the spots to catch out those roamers, but ultimately they only got half the job done on that roam clear, which they didn't heavily invest in. Alpha was supposed to be on flank watch for that peak from FK1, but FK1 saw his head before Alpha did, and down went the Nomad. If and ultimately, even when the Jaeger died to the Claymore, he still got a pick in the process. He still got man count even, and Revolt's never been cleared out from below was able to easily deny the plant. It's likely that it's likely it would have been better called out that we don't have piano and just plant somewhere that can't be C forward or try and push into projector. Don't worry about the plant just yet, and that might have been what it took for Guidance Gaming to win the round. Instead, he goes for the default plant on the console Windows side, and that's an easy C4 for the Mozzie playing inside a piano. 7 seconds for that plant to go down, more than enough time for the Mozzie to maneuver into a position to get his job done. We also then saw him shotgun out the Capital. Well, I'm not entirely certain where that gunfight took place. It was either the Capital trying to pinch out and get the refrag onto the Mozzie and losing out on the gunfight, or possibly the Capital getting gunned down from below as well, while he tries to push in from the console off the side. Either way, it left Bursa yet again a 1v3. And he's been getting closer and closer, I feel, on these 1v3s, and he might just get it if it comes down to that point, but it shouldn't come down to that point. I want to see. Well, they don't have to attack the top floor again, which I think is a good thing if you're Guidance Gaming. I would like to see if they have to do something in overtime, they need to have a more efficient roam clear and really just deny FK1 and Revolts the comfortability they have on the map right now. Punish them for what they try and contest early on, and don't allow them to get those late retakes and kills. You can see how valuable Diego is on the pulse on this lower site, but Ghost is actually going to get downed early on. Previously, he took down the Capital when they defended this site with an early pick, but it looks like instead it's going to be him taken out by the Capital. So a bit of revenge there for BMH. And the castle off the board for Pain Gaming. Not a lot of utility lost, especially if he was running something like the Bulletproof Camera instead of Impacts, but even if he was running the Impacts, there's not really anything to impact trick on this side. As RDZ, you can see swapped over to the Ash instead of the Bug. Wanted to just make more of an impact here on this roam play. They also note that they have more castle barricades to deal with, as they likely read into the fact that Pain Gaming would reattempt this site, and the castle barricades will no longer be a problem one bit for the side of Guidance Gaming due to the amount of soft destruction they get thanks to the Ash and the Zofia. Mozzie getting droned out here by Alpha is going to set up Bursa for a free kill. He will get only downed, but Alpha's going to check to make sure that the Jaeger was the one peeking out. So we're likely to see an impact coming out, and there it is from Bursa. Good plays and good reads there from Guidance Gaming, not throwing away the advantage they got by getting that down because they knew a player was likely to push up and contest Bursa, and indeed that was the Jaeger, but ultimately he will find nothing because Bursa will give him nothing. He will now peek in and try and take the second gunfight with the Jaeger, but he'll lose out. But he had RDC there on the flank, so good pinch once again coming out from Guidance Gaming, and the team play and the coordination that we saw of them in their previous BR6 match against Vivo Keyed finally showing up in this match, and definitely not too late. That's not to say they didn't have moments of that same sort of brilliance before, but we're now really seeing that coordination come out as BMH will dismantle Diego, and it's all up to Norden in a 1v4. He's going to take a couple of shots. He's not even sure exactly where. He has some pings coming out for him, but ultimately, if you don't land those shots with the SMG-11, then you don't have enough left for any later engagements. He won't even find one more with the shotgun. Alpha's going to take him down, and Guidance Gaming clawing back another round on the attack, one round away from equalizing their attack and defensive split. And then they're just going to hope they have a better time defending here than they had on Villa. And man, that sounds weird to say on Consulate, but it is what it is. I think the big thing there for Guidance Gaming was that they successfully pinched the roamers this time. That has been something they've kind of struggled with in a lot of these, and even when their side executes are working off, they're not being as successful in their flank holds or their pinches. But that time, you saw they knew which map control they could kind of get early on. They could send the Ash in from the other side, and with the coordination of the drones and Bursa on the window repel, they were able to rack up kills all from that position. BMH not falling early to the castle also meant that man advantage was constantly on their side this time around, and I don't know if the castle got greedy and tried to do the same sort of peek he did previously onto the capital, or if it was just unfortunate positioning in a different location. But that early pick definitely not helping out Pain Gaming and giving a lot of fuel to the fire that was Guidance Gaming that round. We see the Ying coming out from Guidance Gaming once more. It seems they have a lot of strats that are involved in this Ying lately, and it's fascinating to see really because Ying is an operator who hasn't seen as much play as she used to, really since the change of how her Candelas cook. But I think honestly, even before that, a lot of teams just didn't want to dump and invest in the utility that Ying has now that she's lost the smoke grenades, and you're sacrificing other utility that could just be, and it might just be caught in something like an ADS or might not prove effective. It looks like Guidance Gaming definitely likes using it though to clear out either the site or the roams. They've used them for both positions, and hopefully it'll have more success for them here than it did on Villa if you're a Guidance Gaming fan. But either way, it's always interesting to watch what teams come up with operators that don't see as much play as they used to. FK1's once again on this roam, and now keep in mind Pin Gaming now has gone to the garage, the one site that they lost on their first attempt. So this is definitely Guidance Gaming's best opportunity. The Electric Claw's in play without a Thatcher available to Guidance Gaming because of the bans will help out on slowing down this garage side take, and it's likely that the buck of RDZ is going to be tasked with going into Pano and clearing out said Electro Claws. FK1 has come back down. He's over towards the archive side to try and hold a pinch on yellow stairs in case a player from Guidance Gaming decides to ingress in from yellow stairs early on. And you can actually see quite a few guns trained on yellow stairs. They're expecting someone to try and peek it to deal with the Electro Claws, but this makes you wonder how much presence they have to contest Piano, the most probable positioning that this will come out as. And you're actually going to see the Nomad of Alpha getting spotted out by Revolt's Valkyrie camp, so that intel will be available to the defense, and it might be possible that FK1 is the one tasked with capitalizing on it. He has been very successful on killing Alpha in this match so far, and he is worried about getting pushed from the Spiral side, but he likely has a Valkyrie cam or some sort of information utility available to him to give that call out. Indeed, you can see some barbed wires at the top of the stairs, so even if there's no cam in position, there will still be the sound. But you can see piano control and bathroom has been completely vacated towards the side of Guidance Gaming, and so the garage panel will be opened up with still a minute to spare. Guidance Gaming setting themselves up in decent position for this attack. You can see the Ying is the one put onto yellow stairs, which is going to actually rotate and play from the garage side. No smoke grenades available to Guidance Gaming for this attack, which can make it a little bit harder for them because there are quite a few angles that can be played. It's going to be up to the Ying of BMH to just deny those angles and to deny those peaks. Diego will get one onto the yellow stairs. That was burst, so the Sophia. But the gas canister is likely coming out too late, and the Nitrocell will miss, so the plant will be successful from Miracle. The gas canister will finish off Miracle afterwards, and BMH is getting compressed on right now. Alpha's far too offside to help him out, but it doesn't look like they're aware of the Ying's position. He will get one, but Norden is there to get the refrag. It's up to the Buck and the Nomad. The Nomad is finally able to rotate over towards the yellow side, and the Buck can open things up from above, and in doing so, he'll call the player to fall off of the defuse. The Nomad trying to spot out this Maestro, and the air jab saving both of their lives, and Alpha will win the gunfight when he stands back up. The defuse attempt is coming out, but it doesn't look like Guidance Gaming is aware of it, as Pain Gaming will successfully defuse. A good push from the Valk at the last second to get the Buck off of the defuser. And Pain Gaming will steal away a round that looked to be entirely Guidance's and allow them to go into the half of the 4-2 split, as they will now go onto the attacking side. If you're Guidance Gaming, that's a rough one to lose because you had a lot going for you there. You didn't have the man advantage, and it was still it was a 5v3 after you got that plant down, but Ultimately, what she did have was decent positional advantage. The biggest problem was that the Ying was the one caught out in a small position and couldn't rotate outside the garage or something like that to provide that pressure. And she got one kill from her position because they didn't realize exactly where she was. But one kill wasn't enough to make life easier for the Nomad and the Buck. And the big problem was how far off site the Nomad was. And you can see the Nomad falling off of the flank hold on the Meister at just the wrong time. Had she fallen off of it earlier, then the Meister would just gotten air jabbed and a free kill, and the Nomad could have played more passively and not be gunned down by the Valk. Or if the Nomad plays it longer, it's likely she gets the kill on the Meister either way, and the air jab stays in position for the Valk. So unfortunate timing there from the Nomad, but a lot of that comes down to the fact that the execute went down while the Nomad was still off clearing on the other half of the map. The Ying bought them enough time that she was able to get back, but Buck wasn't even able to open up enough of the floor to really play off of for that vertical position, and that's how we saw the Defuser sneak come out from the side of Pain Gaming. Had that floor been entirely opened up, you saw the Buck had a split second to look down below and see if someone was defusing, and he saw the sparks, but he couldn't see exactly where said player was then pushed by the Valkyrie. He has to take that gunfight, and that took just too long. Guidance Gaming are also going to go to the top floor first for their defense here. And it looks like Bursa is going to be tasked with holding on to the admin side. The flashbang's coming out to check for ADSs. They will not find any just quite yet, but there's likely some placed a little bit deeper inside of admin office because it would be kind of suicidal to leave the Jaeger without any ADSs there, but he might have also fallen off of that position. It's hard to tell quite so from this angle. Either way, FK1 is going to be the one pressuring admin most directly. This is Sophia is going to want to make an entry point for her team from this eastern side take. Bursa actually eats a lot of damage at some point, possibly from a nade, and the second nade will come out but not connect with anything. There are some pings left around, and actually there's the second nade, so I'm not exactly sure where he took the first bit of damage from, but Revolts will make sure that it was just enough for him to finish him off. And that's Bursa the Jaeger taken off of the board at about the halfway point. I'm not even entirely certain where the Jaeger was contesting, but my guess is inside a printer. Either way, a good early pick here for Pain Gaming, as it's not going to give them admin control as they try and go for this top floor take from the eastern side. There are still some roamers playing down below that could bring in a nitro cell and ruin the days of these players inside of the admin, so Ghost is going to have to set up a flank drone to try and catch them out. It's good drone work there from Pain Gaming that we were able to see on the Nomad with the two drones in positions that can deny the C4 or retake attempts. But you can see the Mozzie showing off its effect as Sophia will have to shoot her own drone. She will also spot up Black Eyes, so she's going to trade intel for intel and probably come out the victor of that, as the Black Eye is a bit more valuable than a singular drone, as the second drone will get through because there's no longer any Mozzie in position. Gas canister will be detonated to cut off FK1's ingress into the site, as it's going to be up to Miracle to just hold down the projector side being pushed from multiple angles, and it's going to be the one on the balcony that finds him. That's Diego gunning down the smoke, and projector control should be in favor of Pain Gaming. Ghost down below is going to try and deny any sort of nitrocell denial, but it's not sure if his position is known. He's going to look away at just the wrong time and give away that he's there, and BMH will get the kill onto FK1. That's the first for Guidance Gaming, as Norden is now going to try and get into the site, but BMH is going to get a second onto Revolt. Norden trying to go for the plant, but BMH gets his third, and BMH getting a fourth. Alpha getting the last one to deny the ace, but Guidance Gaming storming back on that retake and winning out on the 3v5. The Maestro, untouchable that entire round. That's the kind of round you need to start out your defensive set if you are Guidance Gaming and you want to push this to a map victory in your favor. Pulling back a round when you were down 2 men early on, off of the backs of one player, really, but man, I'm sure BMH is more than happy to carry that load, and that's going to energize the entire team. Once again, we see this clash coming out. So Guidance Gaming, definitely a team that likes running their clashes and their yings, which isn't common for most teams, although there are a decent number of clash teams out there, especially in Europe, as I'm sure Milosh would love to harp on about. But it's still not the most common of operators to see, especially for the ying. And the clash here I hope they have better success with it than the clash they tried to run on some of their Villa setups. And I think the final clash attempt they ran, where they actually won that defense with the clash, was a lot better because they used the clash more off site. The clashes that were used initially on Villa were just a bit too close to site, and was ultimately you probably would have been better served with another gun on the site to try and deny the pushes. It's possible the clash is designed to help out with this player playing inside a bathroom for this garage defense, and I think that's going to be RDZ, the Jaeger, or it might be the mute of Bursa, which is the more common operator you put in the position. Indeed, it will be, as the Jaeger was just setting down a singular ADS. And it looks like the clash is going to be focused with actually denying and take from the yellow stairs side, stall that out, and that's going to both help out the mute, but also the actual anchors on site. The castle coming out from Alpha is just going to be more delay of this push, but it looks like Pain Gaming might be stacking up for a rush from the Visa side. Indeed, it's going to be a drop. The first line scan is likely to come out here shortly as the players of Pain Gaming start to push their way in from the eastern side. They'll take out the cam, but they were spotted on it, so Guidance Gaming should know about this rush attempt coming out from Pain Gaming, and if they have the guns properly trained in the right directions, it should be an easy stop. The Mute Jammer proving to be a bit more difficult for the Zofia than she'd like, and the Clash will be able to get into position in time to stall out that push. The first line scan will finally go off as the castle barricade is taken down, and they'll try and ingress onto the pipes. You can see the line scan having its effect as it forces the player off of yellow stairs, but he will still manage to retreat to safety. And what started out as a rush is going to really stall out on this eastern side take, which isn't a good thing if you're Pain Gaming by any means. What is good, though, is Diego landing a beautiful shot onto the head of the castle, and the second line scan coming out is going to allow Diego to push up a little bit more, but he's going to get gunned down by Miracle as he was not droned out in his position here in the office. The smoke doing great work to just stall out the three players here, and RDZ will pick off Revolt as he tries to rotate and help out his team. Norden landing a beautiful shot onto Miracle despite the clash feeding that information to the smoke, but RDC will get his second of the round onto FK1. That's your Zofia gone. The Mute still has control of the hatch, but he's going to drop and assist his teammate based off of the calls from the clash. So it's going to be a 3v2 as the final line scan is used up. The line will spot out the clash and take her down, so it is now a 2v2, but Norden is relatively low on health. Both players on Guidance Gaming are hurt, but it won't matter to RDZ as he gets his third of the round, and Burst is there to clean things up on the line. The attempted rush, I say with a question mark, because it wasn't as fast tempo as I'm sure Pain Gaming would like. The lineup and the operators that Guidance Gaming had were not necessarily great at just flat out killing the rush. Stalled it, stalled it, stalled it, and ultimately you can't just be funneling in from that backside if you don't have the rest of the map control. So a good adaptation there from Guidance Gaming, and once again, something that we see from Guidance Gaming that I think a lot of teams neglect is when you have all 5 members alive, you should have people watching your flank camps and the like. And a lot of teams, especially in the early round, they seem to be distracted either on active cams or trying to position or set up or something else. So the player that was actually on the spiral cam to catch out the fact that this many people were rushing, because he spotted at least 3 people on that cam and make that call, allowed all of Guidance Gaming to rotate into positions to capitalize and ultimately tie up the scoreboard now, as it's going to be a 4-4. So good stuff from Guidance Gaming, and a worthwhile attempt from Pain Gaming, even though it may not have worked. I think they made a read that, okay, they have a lot of offsite roam presence there, especially with the castle trying to help out the mute, and they have the clash. That's going to be one less gun that we have to worry about when we push into the site proper. But the big thing that saved it for Guidance Gaming is that they were ready for that rush, and that is a rush that can be quite successful if a team isn't ready for it. I mean, Atlantic City, Liquid pulled out on G2 and won the round, and they actually 5-1 here on Consulate. So we have seen how powerful of a rush that can be if a team is not prepared, but credit to Guidance Gaming for not dropping. Again, I think the best thing you can always say about Guidance Gaming, this is a huge compliment, I think, to them, is the fact that their fundamentals tend to be very solid. They may not necessarily always have the most impressive highlight reel plays of fragging potential or show some of the most complex strats out there, not to discount either one of those things for this team, because I do think they show a lot of unique looks and have very potent fraggers on their team, but I really think the biggest thing that gets them as far as they are right now are their fundamentals. And I think that's the best position a team can be in because if you have your fundamentals solid, you're just going to grow from there. And that's why Guidance Gaming is doing as well as they are right now to try and pull things back. And the rounds that Pain Gaming have won have often looked like they have managed to dissect and ruin those fundamentals from Guidance Gaming. But when Guidance Gaming has that in play, they're doing fine. Alpha's going to eat a little bit of damage from that frag grenade, but ultimately he will survive. And we're seeing that file cabinet that gave Pain Gaming so much, or sorry, that gave Guidance Gaming so much trouble, giving Pain Gaming just as much trouble. And both frag grenades will now be used up, and Alpha will still continue to live right on top of the file cabinets as Bursa will pick off Diego from the other side of the admin, cutting off the player that was inside a printer, really trying to push in and deny this admin control. So the top four control over half of the round gone and still firmly in Guidance Gaming's favor, and they pick off the Capitao in the process. Getting rid of those two frag grenades from the buck is also a very worthwhile wastage of utility. RDZ and Alpha have eaten a little bit of damage, but ultimately it's more than worth it considering the amount of time they burned. Miracle will get the first answer back for Pain Gaming onto Mute. That was your site player on the top side, and it's going to be one of your nitro cells gone, assuming you want to try and deny from below later on. FK1 knows about a player playing at the top of Visa Stairs, and Revolts is actually going to find the Jaeger of Bursa. So Pain Gaming storming back in this round as Ghost will tag on another onto RDZ. It's all up to BMH and Alpha. We saw how long this Mozzie survived inside of admin. Well, now he's going to have to fight his way out of it to help out his teammate of BMH, who is rotated onto the top side. He knows he's going to get pressured from multiple angles, and he's trying to hope that he can get the right gunfight in his favor. He knows about this thermite pushing in, but he's also worried about the push from the north side. Alpha landing a beautiful headshot onto FK1 allows him to open up the hatch and support his teammate. He's going to take some shots in his direction, but nothing will connect, and BMH will use that as his cue to fall down. Norden is going to start committing to a plant, but it's not sure if Alpha or BMH are aware, and even if they were, they'll get gunned down in their attempt to rotate to the tertiary site, not working out for Guidance Gaming. As Pain Gaming will find their first attacking round and push themselves one round away from match point. Ultimately, while a good hold up top from the side of Guidance Gaming, I think the big thing that shut them down was the fact that the Mute got picked peeking into the Visa doors. And the problem with the Mute getting picked in that position was that the Mute was your primary source of both intel as a person and also just playmaking on the top side, or on the top side itself there in Archives Tellers, the archive site. Or sorry, the teller site. The and what that ended up doing was now the rest of Guidance Gaming had to rotate. And you can see finally the one who was successful in rotating to the position was the Maestro. But he lost two other teammates because in the process of the rotating, because two other teammates failed to get there before him. And then you can see what ends up happening because the Maestro has abandoned that spot. Well, now they have to rotate someone down below later, and then the Maestro and the Mozzie both get picked off on their rotates. So that pick onto the Mute, who just really just played a bit more aggressively than he should have, was a swung around that was going really in Guidance Gaming's favor all the way over to the attack. It was arguably the most important pick that Pain Gaming could have gotten at that point, because had their first pick been, say, on someone on the top floor, well, not the worst thing in the world by any means, but not gonna matter because you've already wasted a lot of utility and time. That's what Guidance Gaming wants you to do. So getting the pick onto the site player, that was huge. You can actually see a double castle barricade set up on these projector windows. Bear in mind that despite the fact that a castle barricade can get a singular big window or a singular door, those projector windows are actually two different windows next to each other. So while the size might be the same, it's going to be two castle barricades used there instead of one. So a heavy emphasis of utility. And I think the idea there is to just stall out the opening of the projector balcony side, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to pinch, especially because I think most often Pain Gaming will send Diego there to open up the projector balcony, and Capitao does not have any utility to open up those castle barricades by himself, so it's going to have to prompt a rotate from someone on Pain Gaming. As you're probably not going to see the Capitao try and sit there and melee two castle barricades, as that'd be more dangerous than not. Bursa is kind of trapped here by the vending machine, but he doesn't have to move, and he will actually be successful running away. Diego just missing his shots with the M249, and that might come back to bite them later. He will bring Bursa down to about half health. Diego will be able to rotate off, probably on a call made based off of time, as there's only about half the round left now. Still plenty of time for the attack to work with. They're going to have to start stepping up the pace. I believe admin control should finally be in their favor, and indeed it is. So, not the worst set of time management. You can actually see that the wall towards the projector side has also been opened up to give that long angle to the attack and make it more difficult for players playing in that position. Frag grenade likely comes soaring out towards the player playing inside of the projector, and I believe that is Miracle onto the smoke. He'll show a shoulder for a second, but fall back and actually run right into the line of sight of FK1, most likely forced out of position because of the nade from the Buck. And ultimately, that might vacate projector control all the way over to Pain Gaming. But we saw how effective Guidance Gaming was on the retake before, particularly BMH. And it's going to be up to them to pull off some of that same magic once again, as the smoke getting picked off now was one of the worst picks that could have happened to this team. Castle down below, he doesn't really have utility to deny a plant other than just shooting through the floor, but RTC does have the utility to just take down the Capita. That's going to be Diego dead, and that's going to be your smokes and flame bolts gone. The Meister Cam is in position to know when this plant is going down. It's going to feed that intel to Bursa, who will get a kill onto Norden and drop diffuser inside of the site. Lots of pings coming out for the side of Guidance Game. You can see how much intel they have, and RTZ and Alpha will capitalize on it. Bursa getting the final kill of the round onto Revolts, and Guidance Gaming tying things back up at 5 apiece. Now they will get to defend Garage once again, another site they were successful on, hopefully pushing things to match point if you're a Guidance Gaming fan, but the real challenge is going to come after that when they have to defend a tertiary site, which they have not been successful on yet. They could, of course, still go to Lobby if they don't want to try the split site once again, and that might work out better for them. But first and most importantly, they need a win here on Garage. Good odds for Guidance Gaming to push this to the overtime at the very least, because they will now get at least two attempts on Garage. And they won it previously, but I also want to note that they won it previously because Pain Gaming tried to do a Visa side rush, something they will not attempt this time around. So the question is Pain Gaming standard Garage take better than Guidance Gaming standard Garage defense? And that's what we're really going to have to judge here. Now, the Bandit coming out from Miracle might really make this Thatcher ban difficult. I don't anticipate we're going to see a heavy tricking coming out from the Bandit because of the fact that Garage is one of the easiest spots to deny a Bandit trick, because you can either throw frags or launch concussions through the drone hole, or if you just get piano controlled and a Bandit trying to trick is a free kill. Not that he really isn't if you launch your frags and the like, but he is still going to be a nuisance that Pain Gaming has to deal with without the benefit of just being able to throw a Thatcher EMP. The problem. No Maverick being run by Pain Gaming either is going to make things more difficult as well. We're going to see BMH though on the smoke now that Miracle has vacated that role, so the Meister will not be in play for Guidance Gaming this time around either. Similarly, Guidance Gaming will not have the Clash, something they ran previously when defending this site, as likely reasoning that that strat didn't necessarily work out previously. It didn't have to work out, as it was a different attack than they were necessarily anticipating. They adapted to it well and they made the read, but I doubt they were expecting the Visa rush, just because most teams will go for the default style take instead, or if they were expecting the Visa rush and the Clash was entirely picked for that, they know it's not going to happen again, or at least they anticipate that it will not happen again. But there is a little less intel available to Guidance Gaming this time around, and we saw how effective those pings were previously when they were collapsing onto the site. So I'm sure they're likely hoping to just not be put into too much of a retake scenario this time around. Now, there are better default cams positioned inside of the garage to kind of help you compared to the top floors. You have the one on the garage side, and then you also have one that can watch the spiral stairs. So that is definitely something that Guidance Gaming might be capitalizing on, and realize they just don't want as much intel as opposed to the top floor, where you really only have one cam that's in position to help you with anything there, and it's going to get shot out from the outside. or from Ghost here, as he was the one actually checking for that default cam just to make sure it was indeed shot out by his teammate. And we see Norden now getting to the electrified wall with about a minute left. He's going to check for any ADSs. He'll spot one, so he's going to try and burn it. He's confident that just two is all he needs. There's only going to be one ADS to play, and it's going to be up to Revolt throwing a frag grenade, probably here for the yellow stairs to capitalize on it. But the smoke canister is going to actually deny that play from Revolt, meaning Garage Door will be held on to for a little longer. But I think they got a Zofia in play to deny electric. Snorton will make sure in case of a bandit trick that he pulls off, and there is none coming out from Miracle. Probably the wise move at this point in time, as it's likely if he had gone for that, he would have been taken down. Still, Garage Door only getting opened up at the 40-second mark and prompting a full rotate from the members of Pain Gaming to try and funnel into the garage panel, and they only got a singular garage panel, so the other one is still electrified, and they haven't quite gotten the angle yet to take it out. Ghost is trying to push in from the back, but having to shoot open this doorway is going to give himself away. He misses out on an opportunity for a kill there, and the Nomad is just going to think better of that push and fall back. You can see utility spam just coming out from both of these teams. Smoke grenades, gas canisters, and Capitao fireballs as FK1 will get the first pick onto the player. As Revolts will get another onto Alpha, BMH will get one onto FK1, but Ghost there to get Bursa, and the plant will go down successfully. BMH, though, getting one in RDZ, getting another onto Revolts. Norton's all outside on his own in a 1v2. He's got a good positional advantage, and the players on Guidance Gaming are extremely hurt, but he's going to have to get really good with his shots here as the smoke's not giving him anything, at least not yet. He's going to peek around the corner, and BMH winning that round for Guidance alongside RDZ. We've seen BMH just be a hero round and round again so far in this matchup with Guidance Gaming and Pain Gaming, especially here on the defense, and it seems that whether it be Meister, whether it be Smoke, if he has to retake the site, well, he's going to retake the site. You cannot stop this man, or at least you can't stop him just quite yet if you're Pain Gaming. And Guidance Gaming will get the first crack at closing out map number 3 and getting their spot at Series A. If they make it, well, they all better buy BMH a drink right now, because the man is making magic happen. The real question is, can they make magic happen on their tertiary site, the site that they fell apart on previously? Now, I do want to note that the previous time they lost this site, they actually played the opening bits of that round much better than Pain Gaming. They held onto that top floor control quite effectively. They weren't perturbed at all. They had admin control, and admin control isn't an easy thing to do, and they had it firmly in their pocket. The problem was that Miracle, the one site player on that top site, was picked off. And what he's really going to have to do and hope to be successful in this time around is not get picked off, but also Guidance Gaming needs to replicate the success they had on that top 4 hold, which isn't easy because admin clears are probably one of the most practiced teams for any team that knows they might play Consulate. And at this point, with a 7-map pool, every team should be competent on pretty much every single map, at least to a degree, have some practice stuff, because ultimately, while yes, you can always ban out your 1 weak map if you want, it's going to make you predictable and easy to read and lose out in a lot of map ban phases if you're always going to be banning out a singular map. And Consulate doesn't really tend to be any team's singular map they ban out. There'll be a lot more focus towards individual teams. A lot of teams are confident playing on it because of how long it's been in the map pool. So I'm sure Pain Gaming, they do still have a proper admin clear worked out because it's not the hardest thing in the world anymore. And actually, I don't think we're seeing as much of an investment on the admin hold this time around either. You have Bursa here with all 3 of his ADSs available so he can try and Jaeger trick, and you can see that working out as he's going to catch out quite a bit of utility. Can he land the second ADS in time? It wasn't actually there in time, but the frag grenade fell a little bit short, so Bursa's going to live. Who will not live, though, is his teammate of Alpha, the Legion being picked off elsewhere by the Nomad. A lot of utility being used up to try and move Bursa out of position. He's going to eat some more damage from these fire bolts, but ultimately survive. Diego will drawn out and confirm that the Jaeger is still in said position. But they're going to have to just take the gunfight with him at this one, as they've used up all their utility trying to clear him. They've wasted both frag grenades. They've wasted their flame bolts. They could still try and impact him out of position with the Zofia, but that's not likely to be the play either. Miracle trying to help out his teammate by holding the angle on the window from below into Printer so he can't get pinched from that side. And if this wasn't droned out properly, Miracle could get himself a free kill. If it was droned out, then we might see some heroics when that window rush comes in. And indeed, Ghost will just land the shot as Miracle had given up the angle. Unfortunate for his teammate of Bursa, but at least he bought his team 2 minutes and wasted quite a bit of utility. Still, that's going to be admin control completely vacated in favor of Guidance Gaming, and BMH is going to use that as his cue that he needs to start making some retake magic happen. We've seen it happen time and time again, and the Meister's going to go up all the way to the top floor. He wants to take the gunfights and be the one to push his team over the edge once again. As FK1 is going to actually start pushing down from the Visa side. They know that there's one player playing up top, and that's going to be the Pulse, who is gunned down pretty handedly. BMH is now going to have to 1v5 retake onto the side as Miracle is gunned down as well. The Maestro has made some magic happen before, but can he make it happen this time around? That's going to be 2 for BMH, but that's not enough as Diego is there to gun him from Spiral Stairs. A beautiful pre-fire onto the player pushing up front to the barricaded door, but ultimately not enough. As we're going to be in overtime. Pain Gaming getting the luxury of defending twice, and so far we've seen a defensive favored Consulate. Guidance Gaming is going to have to buck the trend if they want to walk away with this position in Series A. There will be a rehost coming out, though, and that's going to give both teams a little bit of time to think and adapt and assess how exactly they want to close this out. These next 3 rounds are going to be the most important 3 rounds that both of these teams play for at least the next 3 months, if not longer. Once again, we're seeing that split site just not working out for Guidance Gaming. And we're seeing that top floor utility wasting and time wasting still being successful, but ultimately in that round, again, a player got picked off site there, and that was Legion. Losing his life early meant that once Bursa was removed, and he would be removed, there would only be 3 members that were left on site to try and stall out for however much time Bursa bought. And Miracle giving up the angle that was supposed to protect his Jaeger was not the call. And I don't know why that might have been. Maybe he was about to be pressured from somewhere else and he had to fall off of him. We don't know. Maybe the Nomad was going to jump through and land a crazy headshot onto him, and maybe that would have ruined him. But ultimately, because there was no one holding that angle, the members of Pain Gaming would just pinch the Jaeger from 2 separate sides despite burning all of their utility in the process. And once again, you see what happens when those players get pinched off. It prompts a rotate from BMH to try and do some retakes of magic. And I mean, he got 2 kills, but it was far too late to win his team the round. Maybe if he had taken a little less damage from the Nomad, it would have been enough, but ultimately that's still a what if that we can't really judge, as he still would have had to work his way out of a 1v3 post-plan situation. One thing I also wonder is why the Pulse was the one called up to that top site, as typically the Pulse is a little better played down below, and we saw Pain Gaming actually play him there too, because he can C4 and deny the plant onto the top site from down below, and they still had another C4 in the hands of the Mute, so it's possible, had the call been made for that rotate to happen down below, that while BMH tries to retake the top floor and apply some pressure there, they could have stalled out some plant attempts and possibly gotten some picks from down below thanks to the 2 nitro cells. But ultimately, the Pulse was caught out in the rotate hole and was a pretty free kill for FK1. I think the big difference maker for Guidance Gaming here is really going to come down to, have they successfully learned and adapted to Pain Gaming's defenses of their 2 primary sites? We've seen them attack Garage once and succeed, and then attack Garage once and fail. So that is a site they can win on, but they've lost the top site both times. They've lost the split site once and won it once, but I don't really anticipate Pain Gaming running the risk of going to split site. So the real question is, can Guidance Gaming make something different happen when they go for their top floor attacks? And if so, that's probably going to be the difference maker to win out this match. As it's going to be hard if they have to win on a garage attack for their final attack. Try and actually pull this out in their favor. Now, they do still have the advantage that their defense, particularly of both the top floor and the garage, have been fairly successful, although they've probably come a bit closer to call than they'd like. And their garage attacks, in fairness, the one that they lost, they still got the plant down, and ultimately it just came to the pinch and some bad timing on Alpha's part that cost them that round. So that is something they still can feel comfortable taking. But it's going to be a much more valuable and effective site for the side of Pain Gaming. But we'll see what happens after this rehost and whether or not either team is able to make the adaptations necessary to push themselves over the edge and either stay in Series A if you're Pain Gaming, live to fight another day, or if you're Guidance Gaming, finally, finally get into the top league of your region. There's still Pro League, so that's still a dream they've got that they want to get into. But BR6 is still the top of Latin America as far as the leagues and the scenes go, with all those same top teams participating, competing. And another thing that I think is worth noting for a team like Guidance Gaming is LAN experience. Latin America gets a lot of LAN experience, more than any other region, to my knowledge, unless there's something going on in APAC that I'm unawares of. But at least when you compare it to NA and EU, Latin America has running concurrent to their Pro League season an entire season where they get to play match after match on LAN. And that lets them practice and develop as a LAN team, which means when they go to events like majors, finals, when they go to minors, they have an edge in being able to not have to adapt. What is playing on a LAN environment like? What is it like when you don't have Seeker's advantage? What is it like when you have to communicate and there's possibly noise and crowds around you and your hearing might not be as well as it is at your home setup? There's a lot that goes into a LAN environment that is just unique and different from playing on an online setting. And for Guidance Gaming, if they can get into BR6, that's an entire year's worth of building up LAN experience for a team that I don't believe has quite a bit of it. BR6B isn't played on LAN, at least not to my knowledge. And yeah, so ultimately, this is a great opportunity for Guidance Gaming. And by the same token, it's an opportunity that Pain Gaming doesn't want to give up. And it's going to be a close fight, I think, between either one of these teams now that we're here in overtime. And it might just come down to the coin flip. And we'll see whether or not, after seeing each other's setups for 6 rounds in a row each, if it's going to be a coin flip towards the attack or the defense. I'd imagine more defense because we've seen a defensive favorite constant so far, but at the same time, sometimes after teams get to see the defensive setups of a team over and over again during the regulation matches, or the regulation rounds, sorry, they start winning their attacks more handedly, and it might flip entirely to be an attacker favorite approach. I don't expect it to be based on the bans primarily, but it is possible. And it could come down to a coin flip, but ultimately, I think it's going to come down to which team is more adaptable on the second round of overtime. I think that's going to be the real point where we find out how things are going to go down. Whoever wins that second round is who I think has the best opportunity for closing things out. Now, granted, Guidance Gaming is on defense that round. So if they lose the first attack and then they lose the second attack, it could just blow the other way. But I think the energy of a successful defense will also give them some energy going into their final attack if it comes down to that. But hopefully, we'll be getting into the match shortly. and I hope you guys have been enjoying the promotions and final set of matches here for BR6 right now, or for the Series B side anyway, Series B and Series A relegations anyway. We will have the playoffs for Series A starting Friday. It's going to be on the 26th. I don't have exact times for you yet. I wish I did, both for your sake and my sake, but I do not. That's going to be the first match is Black Dragons versus Ninjas in Pajamas. That's a best of 3. After that, we're going to have a match between the winner of that match against FaZe Clan, another best of 3. That's going to be on Saturday. And on Sunday, we'll have your grand finals in a best of 5. The winner of the match against FaZe will be up against Team Liquid, who have been in a bit of a slump. So I think that regardless of who comes out of those best of 3s, I think it could be a very close contest against Liquid and might have some upset potential, I want to say, but there's not really a lot of room for upset when the teams competing there are Black Dragons, Nip, and FaZe. Although Black Dragons, I think winning this whole thing would be a bit of an upset if they get that far, especially if they get through Nip, who have looked on fire lately and recently defeated Liquid to actually qualify for the Raleigh Major. And I think they defeated Black Dragons along the way too, and they defeated Liquid twice. So Nip have looked great. They've looked in great form, and I think they're gunning for a BR6 victory, but that's not to discount FaZe, who have also been in great form since the second half of Season 9. It's really just been Liquid who's been slumping a bit, particularly since Zeke's retirement. I don't think they found quite the support role they want. Nevertheless, we are getting into the match, and actually, I was incorrect. It looks like it's going to be Guidance Gaming on the defense. So that suddenly changes things quite drastically from everything I just said. Throw it out the window, really. I mean, I still think whoever can adapt properly on the second round can possibly push things over the edge, but Guidance Gaming having the defense means that they have probably won the coin flip, and I don't know why I thought it was Pain Gaming on the defense. I don't know if that was a mistake. That might have been why the rehost was called, because I think Guidance Gaming is supposed to get pick of overtime because of round differential or something. Um, and so it was probably an incorrect setting made by the admins, and so they called for a rehost so that they could get the proper side. So if you're a Guidance Gaming fan, you're suddenly a lot more positive and happy about your chances now compared to you where you were 5 minutes ago when it looked like Pain Gaming would get to defend twice. As Guidance Gaming has shown themselves to be quite effective on their 2 primary sites, and they won't even have to gamble with their tertiary site this time around. Burst is going to make his presence known inside of the admin, but it looks like he's falling back to printer pretty quickly this time around. The shots coming out from Diego not connecting quite yet with the Jaeger, but he does have intel on the Jaeger's position, and that's going to cause Bursa to fall even further back. Diego missing out on a shot for a kill there, as the foot of, I believe, the Jaeger will walk away unscathed. But this does mean admin control is available to Pain Gaming in the first minute of the round, probably the quickest they have taken it, but it was also the least contested from Guidance Gaming this time around. Now, the previous 2 times they played this site, a lot of things came down to the heroics of BMH making some excellent retake plays, but they're also not at a man disadvantage like they've been previously when Bursa got picked off in admin and the roamers were picked off around this point previously and made it a 3v5. So a much better start here for Guidance Gaming if you're defending, but also, I mean, I say all that, Pain Gaming is on a much faster trajectory than they've been previously. Miracle once again trying to peek out with that smoke and eating damage in return. Likely going to be a nade coming out over his wall once again, and you also see the Capita maneuvering in position to finish him off. The nade will connect and down these smokes. So Miracle's just been having a rough time inside a projector. Drone goes flying out from Diego, but Bursa will actually capitalize and get a kill onto FK1. The intel about the smoke being down should come out shortly, and whether this is a second frag or Diego just shooting him through the table to confirm that kill, but I think the smoke might have been able to fall down and escape. I'm not sure if he's even still on projectors. He might have made it to the hatch, and indeed he did. So he's actually dropped down and escaped. RDZ picks off Diego, and Alpha's going to be trying to revive his teammate, a Miracle, whose position might not be known to the members of Pain Gaming, who still think they're in a 3v5, not a 3v4. Alpha, though, will not get to Miracle in time, and Revolt's nade will finally finish him off, so they know exactly how many players they're dealing with this time around, but they only have 16 seconds to go. And they previously lost the site due to heroics from BMH, and BMH is still on the table, but this time he doesn't have to make heroics happen. Norden, though, right as I say that, will gun down the Maestro, and it's going to be Alpha getting the refrag onto Revolts, Bursa getting another onto Norden. That's going to drop Diffuser inside of sight. Ghost will get one, but Alpha's there with a C4 to take him down from below, and Guidance Gaming will win the first round of overtime. Pain Gaming now on the back foot. They do get to defend, so I'm sure they are confident in their ability to hold on to the top floor once more, as they've done so every single round of their top floor defenses. But at the same time, that makes you a bit complacent, I feel, on the defense. If something works every single time, well, you know the attacker going to be adapting and finding ways to adjust and deal with what works for you. And because you haven't seen what it looks like when the attack gets something that's working a little better, it becomes a lot harder to preemptively adapt and patch up whatever flaws and openings that the attackers might find and try and abuse. You won't have that luxury of having intel on knowing how sites fell out of control and being able to adapt on, especially when you had such a strong performance on this top floor defense. I think the big example of what I'm talking about there was Guidance Gaming's top floor there. That was a much stronger top floor than their previous two. Their previous two came down to a lot of heroic plays from BMH on the retake, and they had great retakes. BMH and RDZ worked together quite well to do those retakes and make them happen. But this time, they also adapted all of the stuff that went wrong earlier in the round because they know what happens and how things fall apart, and they didn't even have to make heroics happen or have to make those replays happen. Miracle still got pinched off the same way, but his maneuvering after his pinch completely changed, and his teammates were able to get 2 kills in the process, and he wasted more time and caused the attackers to hesitate as they weren't even sure if he was down or up at that point. We'll see, though, if Pain Gaming can do the same sort of adaptations that we just saw from Guidance Gaming to hold on to this, or if they'll even have to, because again, they were successful every single time they defended up here. And it's up to Guidance to break that mold, not Pain to necessarily have to adapt to anything if Guidance Gaming is unable to break said mold. We do still see this admin hold coming out from Revolts and FK1. The Jaeger and the Mozzie have found a lot of success here previously, as this filing cabinet has probably been the strongest position that any team has played so far here, as both teams have had a lot of success surviving on the filing cabinet. Now, the big thing is surviving enough, and Mozzie might just have the angle onto the Capita. They're both going to be peeking it, but it doesn't look like either one has it just quite yet. Depending on when the Capita goes for this Flame Bolt, and if the Mozzie reads it properly, this could not bode well for the Capitao. He's going to flame FK1 out of position, and he'll get pinched off pretty easily by BMH. It's now just left to Revolts. Revolts is likely going to try and capitalize with a kill onto BMH, but he knows his cross is being held by the Zofia. He's in a very, very difficult position as he will be droned out. Things are looking good for Guidance Gaming to get this admin control at the halfway point of the round, and more importantly, get a 5v3 advantage as Revolts will get flashed out. We might see another Firebolt used and bounced off of the ceiling to try and burn him off of this filing cabinet position. And I think that's what BMH is setting up for us. He's going to fire that Firebolt exactly where you see the Mozzie set up, and it will catch him. Revolts is just going to get taken out by the flames, and that's a 5v3 advantage. A little bit slower than the halfway point for Guidance Gaming, but nevertheless, they have a 2-man lead. We've seen Meisters destroy that previously, and I think Diego's going to be the one focused on that. But one thing I want to note is that every round up until this point, Guidance Gaming focused on a Yellow Stairs take. This is a projector side take. And the first player to try and deal with the projector will be taken down by Norden. Excellent heads-up play from the SMG-11 of the smoke to clear off his cross. And now he can try and stall things out with the smoke, but you can see the wall behind him is soft as well. I mean, it's going to be a little bit easier for him to be pinched down. He has to rely on the Maestro holding his flank. But no, as I was saying, this is the first time we've seen an admin side clear come out from Guidance Gaming, and I think it's the adaptation they needed to make, is that Yellow Stairs take was not working. And their admin clear working out to a charm. And sorry, it was actually reinforced. It just looked like it wasn't. There are still some angles that can be made to hurt the smoke, and also the fact the frag grenades are still in play. Miracle spots out the smoke, and he's going to win out the gunfight. That's Norden taken down. Barca will get another one to Ghost. It's all up to Diego to save his team and their season. He's got to deny for 3 seconds, but his position in the bathroom is completely given away. Bursa will be there to shut him down with the Zofia, and that is Guidance Gaming being your team promoted to Series A of BR6 in an excellent back and forth contest here on Consulate, Bank, and Villa. Pain Gaming, for the second time this year, will be relegated down to a lower league. They'll have to fight their way back up to try and reclaim their former glory. But the end of Guidance Gaming's woes to try and get into a higher league is finally at an end. There's still Pro League to come from here, but they are in BR6. That's not changing. And I think Meligini has it right. A round of applause for all the players. A good contest there between both teams. And one that Guidance Gaming will ultimately walk away the victors of. I hope you guys enjoyed my cast. I've enjoyed casting BR6 quite a bit, and I still have the playoffs left. And I'm hoping you guys will tune in for that as well, as I think we're going to have some great matches. And hopefully I'll be around to cast BR6 next season as well, but it's still a bit unconfirmed there as far as my end. But nevertheless, I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed casting, and yeah, I believe it was changed to a best of 3. It was supposed to be a best of 5, but to my knowledge, it's been changed to a best of 3 because that's what all the Twitter stuff and everything has indicated. And as you saw there on the overlay, it was an overlay made for a best of 3. If it is a best of 5, then disregard everything I just said, and Pain Gaming's still in this, and Guidance Gaming has another shot. But and I'll stick around, I guess, for a couple minutes just to see if that's the case. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed my casts. And again, any feedback is greatly appreciated, whether here on Twitch, Reddit, YouTube. These VODs will go up probably tomorrow morning, as I try and do that, and then it ends up being tomorrow evening every time instead of tomorrow morning. But I try. But either way, I've greatly enjoyed this. I hope the audio quality was better today. I've done a lot of mic adjustments prior to starting today, and I hope that made a difference and improved the quality of the cast. But nevertheless, I've greatly enjoyed. Congratulations to Guidance Gaming for making it to BR6 Series A, and hopefully we'll see Pain Gaming find a way to reinvent themselves in these upcoming months, both in Challenger League and in Series B, because Pain Gaming has struggled, but I think this was the best Pain Gaming we have seen in almost half a year, if not longer. It was nice and a joy to see a Pain Gaming that fought back for once. And a Pain Gaming that wasn't afraid on a lot of those rounds. They took map control. They made stuff happen, and ultimately what caught up to them was the fact that Guidance Gaming adapted better throughout the rounds. Particularly that final attack, realizing the yellow stairs take doesn't work, and just adjusting and falling off of that. But again, that does it for my cast, and as you can see, they're hosting someone else. I'm going to pop off. But yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.